Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages. Welcome to the live stream for the 21st of September 2018. I am your MC for this
Musketeers!
evening, Scooby331. And of course, as always, I have with us this lovely panel. And I'm going to take you through who's who and what's what if you don't know by now. The way it works is the way that I see them on my screen is different than what you see on your screen. So please pay attention as I read off everyone's name. And if you're not subscribed to any of these folks, please subscribe to them because they are what makes this stream great. I'm just here as the host. So without further ado, let's just go through a little walkthrough. Starting off on my left, we have with us, as always, he has returned from the void. He's been gone on hiatus for the past 2 months. He was with us last week. This is 2 weeks in a row, which is a good sign. We have with us tonight a time to speak. Time, what's happening?
Hi, I'm Time to Speak, and I'm currently looking at a picture of Hindenburg flipping the Reichstag over.
Nice. That sounds
The
pretty
skeleton
cool, actually.
came out of its crypt. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Also, N6 is currently invading New Mexico to reclaim Texan soil.
Oh, okay.
Do it, Six! Do it! Do it!
So that's what he's going to be doing till October.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's a touchy subject.
Yeah, so for you
Don't
folks
give
who
up,
aren't
just do
aware,
it!
Six is on hiatus right now till October. He will be returning, obviously adorned with a serape and a sombrero from reconquering his native soil. So go Six. And so anyway, to go further with our panel, we have with us, of
Bring
course,
me a taco.
looking very lovely and golden tonight. I gotta say this. I'm liking this new look that he's got going on. We have with us tonight Irving Twin. What's happening, Irv?
Cheers. I'm Irving Twin. I do Canadian content and shit. I've actually found a bunch of Canadian small-time YouTubers, and we're trying to get together and do some sort of live stream. But before I do that, I really owe NL because this is all his aesthetic. I've just stolen it. I've lifted it, and I'm supposed to be using it whenever I stream with him, and he's here, so I'm doing it whether he says I can or can't.
I
You
like
look
that.
beautiful in goldenrod, sweetie.
Yes,
Thank
you
you.
do. It's definitely a color.
He's got yellow fever.
Yeah.
He's
And
got dengue fever.
speaking of NL, we have with us tonight, as always, I try to have this gentleman on every week. He goes by the handle NL now, which is for National Libertarian. But when we first started streaming together, he went under the handle of Purposeful Discussion. So you'll probably hear me switch back and forth between the two. I have a bad habit of that, holding on to a first nickname when I meet somebody. So, of course,
Don't say NL. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, right, especially with my accent.
You can
Purposeful.
Yeah,
call
it sounds like
yeah.
anal.
Yeah, you can call me
Yeah.
Purposeful if you want, or you can call me Jay. I'll try to make an effort to respond to Jay.
We'll go with
Oh, for Jackass. Got it.
Jay. I ain't gonna remember Jay. I'm
I'll
trust
just
me.
call him
bro.
Jackass.
Yeah, we'll go with Purposeful. But anyway, so what's going on, man? I seen you've been doing a lot of streaming lately, which is cool. I got something to watch when I get home. I enjoy it. Thank you.
Stuff and things. Stuff and things.
No, you were stuffing things. What were you stuffing?
Did you know that Mercury is the closest planet to the sun, named after the Roman god, a swift-footed messenger? Mercury is indeed fast, orbiting the sun in just 88 Earth days. At perihelion, its closest approach to the sun, Mercury is less than one-third as close as Earth, but it finds itself at almost half the Earth-Sun distance at other extreme, the aphelion. Mercury spins once on its axis in just under Earth months.
Yeah, so we also named the only metal on Earth that is liquid at room temperature after this same god, and it has also been known to cause more old Chinese people to go crazy before common era than anything else. They were ingesting it as the elixir of life. So yes, I can nerd it up too.
UFOs fly, so
Yeah, and we wouldn't have thermometers without it.
And this is why I don't eat that much fish.
Yes, exactly. And it amazes me. Japanese people, the lowest incident of heart attacks is probably because the mercury's killing them off before they get bad hearts. So, without further ado, of course. Yeah. And finally, last but not least, we have with us tonight Terracin, the lady that makes all of this possible because I'm a steaming hot mess. Seriously, if she didn't help me do this shit, I wouldn't know what I was doing. So how have you
Oh, thank you,
been?
sweetie.
Oh, not a
Oh,
problem.
I've had a hellish day. I am now a member of the Grid. I have a bank account.
Oh, congratulations.
And
Welcome
speaking
to
of
the
a bank
21st
account,
century.
Irving, since you like to buy shit from Redbubble, you need to go and buy one of my throw pillows or my laptop covers or a book bag or something.
I'll check it out.
Very cool.
No.
The
Anything
throw
else?
pillow. I showed Scooby the throw pillow, and it turned out really good looking.
Right on.
Yeah, you got to see it. It looks it's obviously it's professionally done, but I mean, you definitely got to check it out because I was she showed it to me and I was taken aback for a split second. It took me a minute to realize, wait a minute, that's her design. Like it completely slipped my mind that it was, like that she designed it. It looks that good. Seriously, it looks like something you get on a shelf at like Walmart or Target or something.
Yeah, Redbubble does a good job with people's designs. They make everything work.
Ah, damn, the dog's barking. I'll be right back, guys. I guess I'll talk amongst yourselves. Give me 1 second.
It's okay.
Don't tell
the
me what to
cats-
do. I'll talk amongst myself without you telling me to do that. Hello, me. Hi, how's it going? Oh my God, you are handsome, aren't you? Yes, I am. You're not too bad looking yourself. Want to fuck? Yes, I do. Oh, fuck me harder myself.
That's not gay. It's masturbation.
That's one thing I'm curious. If
We're getting into deep philosophy
if identical twins hook up, is it gay or is it masturbation?
See, now, as a person who's seen this on Pornhub and other places, I don't actually care.
No, I'm just curious.
I think we call it incest in the States.
Not in New Jersey. It's completely legal.
Really?
Yes. Incest is legal in New Jersey. Of course, in 23 states, you can marry your horse.
Asking for a friend, but what states would those be?
One of them's Texas.
All right, I'm writing that one down. What else?
Pretty much the desert states, Arizona, Nevada, California. Oh, also in California, you can marry a cake.
That's legit. Can I force someone to make me a wife then?
This is what we fight for.
Yeah, you could have them make you a cake that just says wife.
Fuck yeah. Okay, so what
Scooby
else
should
is
never leave
happening?
us to our own device. Our own device. Excuse me.
Let's see. There was another
Should have
shoot.
never gave you niggas money. Anyway, this is
There's-
my coffee in my coffee cup. I'm drinking it. It's 10:12 p.m. here where I live. That's what it sounds like to drink coffee at 10:12 p.m. Did anything happen in the news that's not related to baseless sexual assault allegations with no evidence whatsoever?
Like I said, there was a shooting in Maryland yesterday, or was it the day before?
Oh,
I'm
I probably didn't hear about that because the shooter probably wasn't white, was he?
I don't know. It was all over the internet, so he might have. Let's see. I know McDonald's went up in flames today. Went right past it.
That's legit.
So if you're looking for really cheap fast food, go to Doylestown. You like your burgers well done? They got you covered. Let's see. Maryland shooting.
Did the news, the actual news, cover The Maryland shooter.
Woman who killed 3. That's the problem.
Oh, it was a woman. Yeah.
Killed
See?
3 at Rite Aid, was a disgruntled worker.
Yeah, that's why I didn't hear about it, because it was a woman. There was another mass shooting the other day where it was a black dude, and then there was a mass shooting the day prior to that where it was, I think, an illegal immigrant or either that or it was at least a Hispanic guy. I can't remember the details or whatever. They don't cover those ones. They don't cover those mass shootings. They only want to cover the mass shootings that are done by white people because they want to make white people feel guilty for mass shootings because they want white people to give up their guns.
Also, the third fucking article here, we got CNN, which are normal sounding titles. Third one, Baltimore Sun. Female shooters are rare, and trans men even more so. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, this is the takeaway we're having.
Gee, I wonder why some, a group of people that only represents 1% of the United States and global fucking population would be like rare in mass shootings. That's strange. I guess they better get out there and start shooting people because they gotta, we gotta diversify shootings.
Gotta equalize, baby.
Right. We need equal representation in shootings. So,
like the London Bridge, that was a truck run, right?
Truck of Peace.
Yeah, last year that I remember. Who was it? I think it was an MP said, like, talking about one Chinese, one something like they're commenting on the diversity of the UK among the victims. I'm like, oh god. Like, this is the takeaway you're having.
All these people that died. Look, a Chinese guy died, a white guy died, some Muslim people died. Isn't it amazing? They all died together. They were all brutally fucking murdered and had their guts strewn across the fucking road. And it was so diverse. Oh my god, it was amazing. Why don't you people go fuck yourselves? Jesus fucking Christ. Why aren't we roping these people from fucking lampposts already? That's my question. I think it's a legitimate question. Can anybody answer it?
Because
no,
public executions are illegal?
Because what?
Public executions are illegal, unfortunately.
Well, illegalities don't seem to stop a lot of people from doing a lot of stuff.
Just saying.
Well, Hey, did you guys hear that New York Times totally trolled Donald Trump? Well, they tried to. It failed. It's not going to work. They're really bad at trolling.
What did they do?
Wow, thanks for asking, Irving. Otherwise, I totally would have just gotten up and left the fucking room. No, they wrote that anonymous article saying that Rod Rosenstein, an anonymous source, several anonymous sources, not just one. We got a lot of totally non-credible sources this time, so we've tripled up on the non-credibility.
Totally not made up at all.
Right. So, yeah, believe us, we've got 3 anonymous sources this time. That means it's definitely not made up. You can't question 3 of them. Fucking liberal logic, I swear to God. But they penned to this article saying that Rod Rosenstein is trying to collude with Jeff Sessions and I can't remember the other guy's name to invoke the 25th Amendment to remove Donald Trump, and Rosenstein is going to wear or was going to wear a wire and wiretap and secretly record Trump and stuff in his office, allegedly to get obviously incriminating stuff or whatever. And since this sounds like, at face value, this sounds like something, I just did a video on this, so I'm kind of repeating myself here. By the way, anybody that's watching this now, you don't have to go watch my video, which is good for you. Anyway, fuck was I? It's late and I'm drinking coffee. Oh yeah, Rosenstein. Okay, so fuck, I lost myself again. Oh yeah, New York Times. Okay, so yeah. New York Times, king of the fake news, failing New York Times, blah, 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 whatever. So they make up this story, which at face value, totally if it was true, to be fair, if the video was true, or not the video, but the article was true, this would give Donald Trump a really solid reason to fire Rod Rosenstein, which then can dismantle the entire Russian, investigation thing. So a lot of people, mostly people that are New York Times subscribers, so like left, very left, they pretty much smashed and destroyed the New York Times Twitter page or Twitter feed, I think is what it's technically called. Why the hell would you release this? Blah, 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 this and that. Oh, I can't believe you're, this is now you guys are posting fake news. You know what I mean? It's fake news when it actually is like, this is the one time to these people, this is the one time New York
nothing, we
Times
swear.
fake fucking news, which is, that's fucking strange, isn't it? That's fucking strange. That's only fake news when I don't agree with it. But, so basically all their subscriber base is super raw and butthurt, and like there's a lot of people in there saying like, we're going to cancel our subscriptions, I'll never buy a New York Times magazine again, blah 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 blah, this and that. So New York Times made this article or posted this article. They're losing a bunch of subscribers, and the article is completely just based off the same anonymous bullshit facts, right? And my theory is, and I'm guarantee I'm correct about this because there's no other actual feasible theory out there, that the New York Times decided to, well, what do we do? Let's try to get Trump to fire Rosenstein. Let's make a slanderous fucking news article with a bunch of fallacious shit. We'll just fucking make it up. We'll say Rosenstein was trying to wiretap Trump. He hates that wiretapping shit, right? Yeah, that'll piss him off. He'll get really mad about that, and he'll fire Rosenstein. And then we can say, see, he fired Rosenstein so that he could, cancel that Russian investigation stuff. And now he's obstructing, so we must impeach. You know what I mean? And yeah, so. But it was all for nothing because Rosenstein still has his job. He's not going to get impeached for this, or not impeached, but fired for this. So,
is anybody else remembering high school? Like, is this just making you think about like people starting bullshit rumors behind your back to fuck up your social?
Because they don't like you. Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
X said this, which obviously means this.
Oh my God, Becky fucked Mark. What a slut. We should tell everybody she had sex with an animal.
We should have a witch hunt and burn her at the stake.
Right.
I'll show her.
Yeah, that'll show her, the dumb bitch. Oh my God. How dare she do what she wants without my consent?
Oh my God, Becky, look at her butt.
All right, you guys are gonna have to survive without me for about 3 minutes because I gotta go.
It'll never happen.
No, we'll die.
Well, good. I'll get to come back and play with some dead bodies, so that'll be awesome.
More dead bodies, more dead bodies.
All right, on 3. Ready? 3.
So, Irving,
Yes,
what kind
ma'am.
of tapestry would you want from me?
Well, I mean, I've got my Kyrgyzstan flag and my Canadian rebel flag. I mean, what do you have in mind?
Well, let's see. We have All Hail Elf Mama. We have More Dead Bodies Tara. We have 2 different variations of just Terracin. I could show you what they look like.
Let me find your. Send me a link to your Redbubble, and we'll. I'll take a look. I'll take a look.
Well, I haven't put those up yet. I'm working on rendering them and everything. It's shit to do and GIMP.
Okay.
It's just nothing. It's a slow news day. That's the problem.
So I'm having like live stream inception. A friend of mine just texted me. I haven't heard from him in a long time. Apparently, it's because he had Lyme disease. And now he's watching, and instead of commenting, he's texting me.
Poor guy. He shouldn't have left that thing that he thought was a skin tag on his nuts. Obviously, it was a tick.
Oh, okay. So where'd Scooby go? Because what is this 92nd annual Little Italy Fest of San Gennaro?
I have no clue.
Because that's what we're called right now, and I want to know what this is.
Oh. Scooby also needs to remember that we're the Musketeers at this point.
Yeah, no, because like the only thing really going on is the Cavano case, it seems.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Which I haven't had much time to look into because I've been busy working on my video.
Yeah, and apparently it's another great big fat nothing burger, right?
Yeah, it seems like a goose chase. From the little I've looked at it, it's like, oh, we're gonna go chasing circles over and over again.
I want him to be tried for touching my ass 27 years ago. Bitch, grow the fuck up.
It's like Augustus Caesar claiming lineage to Romulus. I'm just thinking of like.
All right, Irving,
old...
I sent the link in Discord.
I'm just thinking. It reminds me of basically any old ruler claiming to be descended from somebody that it's like at the time it's like, what proof do I need? I'm here. I'm doing this. Doesn't mean that. I'm totally related to this guy by blood. What records do you have to prove me otherwise?
Well, I did see something where a 128-year-old man claimed he was Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, but that guy was totally legit.
Dementia's a hell of a drug. Hey.
Yeah.
No, so once I finish this video, I'm going to go on to that video I was talking about with Irving, like months ago. You know, the one that I was talking about, because he wanted to know about what happened in Kosovo. So I'm doing an entire thing on the Yugoslav wars.
Right on. Are you talking to Makarov at all?
I haven't even met Makarov yet, so...
Really? Okay, yeah, no, I think...
bring him in here one of these days.
I think he was literally there. Just get this feeling.
Hey,
On
how
what
muffled
side?
does my voice sound?
Doesn't sound that bad.
But it doesn't sound muffled?
A little bit.
It sounds like what you'd expect, but it's not like...
The mascot? Right, okay.
You can understand you clearly.
See, I was thinking about doing like this for like Halloween week, wearing a few of my masks, you know what I mean? Just wanted to check it out on somebody else's stream. That way I didn't have to like ruin my own, you know?
Like a shitty Bane impression.
For you? I was born in the darkness.
You merely adapted to it. Or was it custom yourself to it? It's been a long time since I've shitpost like that. The closest thing I have to a mask available to me is either something if I look and I find an awful Star Wars Episode 1 mask of fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi that's nightmare-inducing. Or this monkey head made out of a coconut, I think, in front of me. I think it's a coconut. Sitting on the desk here. I'll show it to you after the stream. Might as well be. Because I don't feel like ducking down while I show it, because I don't feel like showing my face and getting shanked.
What's up now?
Oh, no. I have a weird monkey head in front of me. Like I think it's a coconut. I'll show it once.
He has a monkey head, and it freaks him out when he looks in the mirror.
Here, let me play the game. You probably won't be able to see shit as everything falls down.
Here they are, standing in a row.
Diddly dee.
Oh, and did anyone see Vice News in the past couple of days?
No, should I have?
Probably not.
Okay.
Toronto Chinese are pretty unhappy with...
who cares?
with the immigrant situation.
Yeah.
And so Vice has gone ahead and decided that they're all white supremacists.
That's legit.
Is this another situation like the Mongolian Nazis that it's like, why is this a thing?
Maybe. I mean, no, but I mean, they're
Mongolia
just
does have a far right problem though. Now there's monkey bits all over my computer. The coconut shed some stuff because it's old.
Got some new books today.
I still
Oh,
have
you
to
did
finish
too,
it.
huh?
Yep. Got a book on black holes.
nice.
You know, with the aesthetic, it's not like you can actually fucking see it, but whatever. Got a the Analects, Confucius Analects. Buy my book. See it? It's this one right here. What else did I get? Got a, how many pages is this bad boy? I got a 500-page book about the Napoleonic War. And I got this fucking thing, which weighs like fucking 50 damn pounds, which is damn near a day-by-day study of the Civil War.
All right.
Lots of Americans dying. A lot more
Shelby
Americans.
Foote.
What's that?
Was it the one by Shelby Foote?
No.
His is considered the definitive one. If you ever get the chance, it's something like 6 volumes.
Yeah, I'm probably good on that. Is it like
I
a
picked these
collector's
up
edition?
myself.
Because I get if books are like when books come in volumes, I'll get them if they're collector's editions.
I believe there's a collector's edition. What it was, Ken Burns did his
Fucking hate
his
Ken
Civil
Burns.
War. Well, he did his Civil War documentary based on Shelby Foote's book, the book series. Myself, these came in the mail today. The Federalist Papers
Nice.
and the Anti-Federalist Papers, the companion set.
Nice.
Yeah. Plus, I got all Thomas Paine shit came in the mail today. Common Sense. His other books, I can't remember the name. I can't remember the names of them offhand. But yeah, I wanted to brush up on it because between talking to Burnside and to a few other people that like ingest this shit religiously, I figured I should maybe brush up a little bit.
Well, they're good reads, so.
Oh yeah, I haven't read them in years myself. Probably about oh god, when the hell was I taking political science? 19 years ago.
Before it turned gay.
Yeah, I took political science when it wasn't like the cool thing to do. So yeah, it was a long time ago. I just never thought that politics was going to become like people screaming in the streets at each other. Or I would have actually paid more attention in class.
No, I've been waiting for it to become that.
What's becoming what?
The current political climate where people are like screaming at each other over shit, and it's like getting to near blows. I didn't think it would ever get that crazy, to be honest.
Honestly, as of like 2 years ago, it kind of seems to have been getting that crazy.
Yeah. Well, 20 years ago, I never would have thought that it would have gotten to this point where we'd literally be fighting communists in the streets. I came out of left field.
Donald Trump is the greatest thing to happen to American politics since the Constitution was written.
Yeah, that I'll agree with. I'm enjoying the ride either way.
Yeah, I mean, it was really funny. This guy that I mentioned, who's watching now, we had this discussion before the election about what's going to happen if Donald Trump loses. Like, are people going to like go nuts in the streets and shit like that? And it's funny that he wins, and it's exactly the opposite. Like that the media spun it that way. That if they don't win, all these racist and xenophobics are going to burn down the country, and it's like, cue
the exact opposite happening.
There we go. I thought I had died for a minute.
You mean the media promised us nice things that were never going to happen? Fuck.
Yeah, right.
Why would they do that? They don't have a history of doing that at all.
I was honestly shocked it was as mild as it was when he won around here. I expected it to be on par with like the riots that they threw when Malcolm X and Dr. King got killed. I mean, I expected them to be like breaking windows and burning shit down. I expected Germans. Yeah, I was expecting Germans
starting to happen again.
I was expecting German shepherds and fire hoses and shit. I was a tad disappointed. Instead, I just got soy boys sitting on the corner screaming.
No, yeah, but then you also got like based stickman and the
Soon enough
Proud
to become
Boys.
based gunman. Because everybody, that's what I saw, and they're like, "Oh, everybody's glorifying based stickman." I'm like, "Yeah, how long before it's based gunman?"
Yeah.
Well, that's always the thing that worries me: is when are we going to get to that point that someone ends up getting killed, so other people start arming themselves, and then they start
Not
killing
soon
each
enough.
other.
A guy didn't get killed, but there was something at Charlottesville where some
Oh yeah, some dipshit in a car decided, "Hey, let's."
no, a proper gun. Before that, during the actual like rally part, before they started funneling people into each other, some dude, some left counter protester, had like a can of hairspray or something, and was using it like a flamethrower, and was firing it
Move.
right wing people, the alt rights,
Mhm.
and
Some guy turned
somebody
around and shot.
pulled out their gun, caught and shot at the ground by his feet, and the guy took off, but he didn't shoot anybody. He just like warning shot near his feet, and the guy just fucked off.
That
I
you
would've
probably
shot the
should
can
when
of
someone
hairspray.
starts shooting at you.
I would have shot the
Probably a
can
good
of
idea,
hairspray myself. Blow his hands up.
Yeah,
Hey, did you hear
that's
about the guy? Did you hear about that shit that happened in Texas?
What?
Fucking, there's a bunch of yahoos arguing over trash. Like, I know that sounds like a meme, but I'm being completely serious.
this is my scrap.
Yeah, and I don't know why they were arguing over trash, but regardless, two shirtless guys who both look like
Standard Florida man.
alternate versions of what's that Canadian show that everyone just thinks is the fucking Cat's Meow, but is really not good at all.
Come
I can't
again?
tell you because there's a lot of
Everyone
them.
help me out here. It's like in a trailer park.
Trailer Park Boys?
Yeah, fuck. How did I forget that name? Shit. Yeah, it's in a trailer park. It's about a bunch of Canadian guys. Trailer Park Boys. Yeah, that's the one. And
I don't watch TV,
yeah, the
so
guy that never wears a shirt. You know what I'm talking about? He's like fat.
Yeah.
He's got moobs.
Randy.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
And
you know your national heroes, Irving.
I do. Oh fuck! Watch a few episodes and you'll understand.
I've seen them. They're terrible.
Leahy.
No, they're bad. They're bad. And anyway, so two guys that look like they came straight up out of fucking Randy's lineage. One of them's got a Glock, which is
Boring.
yeah, super boring and looked really small in comparison to the man's body size. If you catch my drift. And the other guy had a shotgun, and there's this other guy that's there. And I don't know why they were there. This guy's probably just like unloading a bunch of trash in this dumpster, which was basically, it wasn't even a dumpster. It was just like a double large basic trash can. But whatever, that doesn't matter. That doesn't fucking matter. And the dude's wife is recording the confrontation on her cell phone. And whatever the reason that the people were there, the guys with the guns with no shirts, 2 guns, no shirts, as I'm going to refer to them now forever. They, whatever their fucking position was, they weren't there, like, at least while the video was rolling, they weren't like all like mad or upset or whatever. They were just like, you know, I guess stop putting your garbage here maybe. And the guy that had the shirt and no guns, one shirt, no guns, he kept saying things like, shoot me, and he was yelling at the top of his lungs or whatever. And he was in the guy's face with the gun, you know, shoot me, fucking shoot me right now, shoot me in the fucking head, I fucking dare you. Then he started saying like, I will fucking kill you, I will fucking kill you, and repeated that over and over again, like being blatantly aggressive, making lots of fucking threats or whatever. And then apparently he goes back to his car, pulls out a baseball bat and starts walking towards these guys, and they shoot him and like kill him. Like one guy unloads like 4 or 5 shots with the Glock, and the other guy like starts dumping fucking slugs into the guy or whatever. And of course the wife of no shirt, of one shirt, no gun, she was obviously upset. And she's now, long story short, she's trying to sue the men and get them locked up because they killed her husband, who said verbatim, he literally said, I will fucking kill you. Went to his car, got a lethal weapon, and then started walking towards these guys who were fucking armed, and they shot him. And Texas, by the way, is a stand your ground state. So I fully expect these two men to not go to jail and not get sued over this. Now, with that being said, I will say that I don't know why people are disputing over trash. I think that's probably
We're too enlightened to
dumb, for lack of a fucking better word. I think it's just as dumb as the other case that was in Florida or fucking Texas where some guy like double parked and some old dude was like got out of his car and was like, you can't fucking double park, and a big argument got out there, and then the dude that double parked pushed the guy, the old guy, and the guy shot back at him. I don't. There's like, you know, I'm all for like defending yourselves, right? So like if somebody came up and like pushed me and it was unwarranted and just started like tussling with me, or some guy came at me with a bat saying he was going to kill me and it was unwarranted, I'm perfectly fine with like defending myself, or anybody else in that situation defending themselves. However, there are specific situations like arguing over trash or arguing over parking that probably, one, shouldn't happen, and two, definitely shouldn't result in people like losing their lives. Is that fair?
yeah, there has to be some level of escalation and some level of worth over what you're actually fighting over. If it's, say, your family's safety and it escalates to a point that makes sense, is something like trash worth wasting your life over?
Right.
Like,
I'm
of all the
sorry
things,
to hear
like,
that, honey.
quite
What
literally.
happened? What happened? Oh, my husband was killed over a parking space.
It's quite literally what hill you choose to die on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, like, nobody's necessarily like completely absolved of guilt in this whatsoever. It's like it takes two to tango, number one. You know what I mean? So like in the trash instance, like if it were me, like the guy that was dumping the trash, you know, one shirt, no guns. If that was me and like a couple dudes rolled up on me with some guns and was like, hey, don't put your fucking trash here or whatever, I'd probably be like, I'd either do one of two things, and neither one of them would lead to my death, right? I would be like, okay, you know, my bad if it wasn't my trash can. If it was like a public trash can, then I'd be like, well, that's too bad, and I'd get in my car and I'd leave. I wouldn't stand there and be like, I'm gonna fucking kill you because you walked up on me with a gun in your hand. Like, I would never get that fucking triggered. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it was the parking space thing or whatever, like the video I saw of that old man, like I'd have just completely ignored him. I'd been like, well, who the fuck are you? Call the cops, whatever. I got shit to do. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, you know what?
I'm not gonna stand here and argue with you.
You've seen the beginning of King of the Hill. These guys take their space by the trash can very seriously.
Yeah. Yeah. Unironically, it was like, I think, what was it? Albine, Texas? Albine, I think. I don't know how I remember that, but fucking Google it. It's super fresh in the news. I think it happened like 2 or 3 days ago.
It's probably already being eclipsed by the Florida Man stories at this point. No. This is a huge meme right now. All right, I definitely got to look it up after the broadcast then, because it sounds, I hate saying it, God forgive me, it sounds a little entertaining. Yeah, I hate saying things like that. We've reached that level of desensitization where, like, we can actually find humor in the death of other human beings.
Oh, what are you talking about, desensitization? I've always found the death and humor of other beings suffering. I don't think that made sense, what I just said there, but let me try again. I've always found humor in the death of other human beings. Why not? People die, man. What are you going to do about it?
I'm cynical about everything. I'm just kind of looking like, okay, well, they brought it on themselves.
I am totally consistent on my views of not giving a shit about people. I've got my hierarchy. I know what that hierarchy is. People who are not in my immediate family or circle, I give a fuck less what happens to them. Like, I could give a shit less. You're never gonna. There's this thing called suffering, and there's this thing called joy. And to have one, you have to have the other. And suffering is something that's never gonna go away. And dumb people are gonna make dumb fucking choices, and you can only expect the amount of stories or dumb things that happen. You can only expect that number to increase as the global population also increases. So, I mean, it's an absolute inevitable. People suffer. I one day also might suffer, and I would hope that when that does happen, someone else can at least get a chuckle out of it, because their life is completely separate from my life. Like you always hear me say, like, sometimes when I do a video or whatever, I'll be like, oh yeah, traffic sucked, that's why I'm late on the video or whatever. But that's a personal problem, because that's a personal problem. That's a me problem. You know what I mean? It doesn't have anything to do with anybody else. I would never try to project my issues onto fucking other people. That's actually a really dick thing to fucking do, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean,
everybody wants a scapegoat. Admitting
of course,
fault is
everybody
hard.
wants a scapegoat, because I don't know.
Admitting fault is bad.
Yeah, I don't know if it's, maybe it has something to do with ego, or maybe it has something to do with the fact. I don't know, actually. That's man. Somebody's actually brought up something that I haven't thought about. That's strange. Thank you. Because I don't know how other people, like, I don't know how that works in other societies. I know how it works in the West and stuff, and I could assume, or my assumption would be that it has mostly to do with, like, our egos, about how, like, oh, we're all so important, you know what I mean? Like, we're all fucking special fucking individuals, you know what I mean? Like, we are a special snowflake. Or like, I am a special snowflake, you know what I mean? The world revolves around me. It's mine and mine alone, basically.
I'm an individual. I don't conform to any patterns. I say I don't conform to any patterns, which just about anybody says.
Right.
My buddy put it,
while I conform to the pattern of claiming that I don't conform to patterns.
My buddy put it this way: I am the center of my own universe, and I hope for your sake that you are the center of your own universe, because if you're not, you're doing it wrong.
I completely agree with that. Whoever that man is, he's very wise.
You know, it's funny, because this is the polar opposite of what my father, the advice he gave me as a boy. He goes like this to me. He said, "There's nothing special about you. No one's going to come knocking on the door looking for you. They're not going to say, 'Where is he? We need him. We can't do it without him.' That's not how the world works." He said, "You want to make something out of yourself. You put your nose to the grindstone, you bust your ass, and maybe, God willing, you'll make something of yourself." He said to me, "You have talent. So do a lot of people. The only way you're going to shine is if you apply yourself."
That's absolutely
true. Wasn't wrong.
I think those things are actually very similar, more similar than people might think, hearing them those ways. Because when you're the center of your own universe, you are, yes, obviously the most important thing to your universe. You're also responsible for literally everything that happens around you.
Yeah.
Right. It's entirely up to you. You become the master of your own fate and the designer of your entire world. Right. Your entire experience is up to you. So your dad wasn't wrong, and neither was this. I think they're just expressed very differently.
Yeah.
Bust your ass because it's all on you. Right.
Yeah. It's part of the reason I have such a problem with this new generation, these younger people. I mean, no offense, time. I'm just saying.
Trust me, a lot of them should be kind of just banned from educate. Actually, well, they should attempt to be educated, but they're not doing very well.
You know, it's I mean, the way that they talk.
Effort is bad. Effort's
it
bad.
blows it blows my mind. Well, that hurts my feelings. That offends me. Well, who the fuck cares? No one asked you to come here to get offended, or no one cares about your feelings. You're here to do a job. You don't want to do the job? Punch the fuck out. Go home. We'll hire someone else. I've never seen such shit in my life.
Apparently, there's a new thing I touched.
Air shell. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was saying I just always get tired of walking on fucking eggshells, making sure we're not going to cause a goddamn incident.
Yeah.
If I'm going on some rant or something, or we're streaming, I'd end up closing the windows half the damn time in case anybody heard it, especially when I was in my first dorm, because we had a lot of kids from the inner city. If I said anything, like if there's anything, and it end up getting on the college watch list.
I actually, when I went back and rematriculated last semester, I knew it wasn't going to work out. I actually wound up having to go to the dean's office the first day of class. Specifically,
Good start.
I triggered the people when you go in and you fill out all the information for your classes. I actually triggered the whole office. she had a letter from the office. They like all complained about me, so I had to go in there and talk to this woman. And holy shit, they talk about California. I think that New York and California are in a competition to see who's more draconian. Like, yeah, seriously. Like every class I was in, like the teachers would pull me to the side afterwards. They're like, did you see the sign on the door? I go, what, exit? They're like, no, this is a designated safe space. So I look at the guy right in the eye. I'm like, you're shitting me. He's like, no, and I don't appreciate that language. I go, really? I don't appreciate a classroom being a safe space. I said, that's absurd. I said, when you were saying that there was a trigger warning before the lesson started, I thought you were being sarcastic. But then again, I seen that this guy, he's leading a thing at the college. One faculty, one resistance.
Oh God. I think I remember you mentioning this previously.
Yeah, same professor. Hey, you know what? More power to him, but you got the balls to pull up in, a brand new Mercedes-Benz AMG, and then you got to come in and start. People. Yeah, you got to start talking red propaganda. Get the fuck out of here. Goddamn fucking pinkos with their 7-figure bank accounts kill me.
Oh yeah, Scooby, you want to adopt me? Is it SUNY that's doing it now? That if you're a resident of New York, you basically get a free education.
Yep.
Yeah.
Andrew Cuomo and his Excelsior program.
Excelsior?
Yeah, that's the state motto, Excelsior. That's the reason that Stan Lee uses it for Marvel Comics.
Are you fucking shitting me?
I'm being dead serious. That's the reason that Stan Lee uses Excelsior as Marvel Comics slogan, was because it was the slogan of New York State. That's the I try to tell people all the time. Marvel Comics is so New York centric. That's the reason that everyone around here has such an ego. All the comic books, the video games, the movies, they're all about New York. So that's the reason they think that the whole world revolves around them.
And I'm like, oh, good. So maybe I can move in with my great uncle or something into his apartment. And
all like, boobs are back.
What?
Maybe. Tara's back. She dropped out for a few minutes.
Oh. Yeah, I had to reboot my computer.
Oh dear. But on your return,
apparently I'm not allowed to mess with GIMP while I'm streaming.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, my internet's going good because I keep hearing robots every 5 seconds.
But let me circle back now that I'm reminded because you're here. I heard a great term, and I talked about this with Tara and some people on Tara's stream the other night. It's like the what's the word? The descendant of the helicopter parents, right? That are hovering over their children and making sure they don't do anything that might be risky or whatever. That now there's a new type of parent called the lawnmower parent, where instead of preventing their children from doing anything, what they do is they get out in front of them and mow down any obstacles to whatever it is they're trying to accomplish. So everything comes really, really easy. Right? Yeah. Student did poorly on a test, right? That parents are right out there and they're giving the teacher shit and you'd better adjust the grade and all this, right? So by the time they get to somewhere where they can't do that anymore, they're even worse prepared than the children of helicopter parents, because the children of helicopter parents just don't take risks. These ones take risks, fail, and expect to be rewarded anyway. And it's far, far worse.
That's because they got the trophies for participation.
So, you want to know why that is? Is it you want to know why that is?
Why
it went from helicopter parents to lawnmower parents?
Probably an extension of the same reason of helicopter parents, I would imagine. Right? They don't want them to experience adversity, and they want them to be successful at the same time, but they don't know what they're doing.
Right. At this, no, you're right. You're right. And this stems back multiple generations, but it's kind of like that. Like when you look at a chart, like it goes like, it slowly starts creeping up or whatever. And then it starts to get into the, it starts to peak rapidly and hit its, what's the word?
exponential increase, like S curving.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. But there, I don't know. I was thinking of whatever word they, that meme word they use for it. Singularity. It's reaching its singularity. But yeah, the reason for that is because, I mean, everyone's heard this term, right? Like, you know, like when someone has kids, they're like, oh, I don't want my kids to have to go through what I went through.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want my kids to have to deal with all the hardships that I felt. So you're talking about the generation that was brought up by the helicopter parents who already protected and coddled their kids to the extreme, or at least what we thought was the extreme. So what they had to deal with, whatever they had to quote unquote, what we had to deal with, you know what I mean, was fucking nothing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I stubbed my fucking toe. Oh, I got a C on my fucking paper that I totally didn't study for, right? That was the bad stuff that happened to them. So when these people say, I don't want my kids to have to go through the bad stuff that I went through, that's the shit they're talking about. The bad stuff is fucking nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my parents, dad,
just imagine what the lawnmower parents' kids are going to be like.
Yeah, versus mine that they actually, when they say they worked it so they didn't have to, is my father's been a cop for years, and now he isn't now because he's disabled, more or less, because, you know, guy in a wheelchair decides to have his house catch on fire, so my father goes in to save him. Turns out the guy in the wheelchair is hiding in the woods. He lit the fire himself. And my father has spinal issues now, which is wonderful. That, yeah, he worked as a cop nonstop, which is a fucking pain in the ass for many, many reasons.
Yeah.
As you can imagine, in the U.S., even before the crazy climate, well, the crazy anti-cop climate really has been around for ages, though. But I feel like we've seen a new renaissance of it nowadays.
Yeah, kind of peaked in the early '90s and has subsided a bit. And now it's back.
Yeah, that it's like having its like second or third renaissance
After Rodney King and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't be a cop myself. I mean, the first call I got for abused kids or abused dogs, oh my God, I'm putting all 16 rounds right in the guy's fucking head in front of his family.
Yeah,
seriously.
That'd probably be me. I wouldn't have that restraint of it. Like, okay, buddy, you're going here. Oh, why'd you hit your head on the door?
Yeah.
No, that's like my cousin that she decides after not deciding to be a paralegal. She's like, I'm going to be a cop. So she's a cop in Philly. Then there's my other cousin that's a cop on fucking Coney. Well, was on Coney Island. No longer there anymore. He was on Precinct 16, I think. The one right near where there's the drug dealer shootings every 5 fucking seconds.
Neptune Avenue.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That was a wonderful breaking in period. Yeah,
Coney's a wild neighborhood. You know? It's
lovely place to start.
Well, actually, yeah, it is a lovely place. I mean, they really could have screwed her and put her up over in Marcy Project. So, yeah, Coney is actually not that bad of a beat to get stuck with as a beginning beat. It's moderate. If they decided to really screw with her, they could have stuck her up in Fort Apache. That's the South Bronx. Or they could.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say that's usually where they'll stick them, either as Fort Apache or they'll stick them up over in Marcy, or sometimes they'll put them up over in Sunset Park. You know, Sunset Park, it's bad when the sun, ironically, when the sun sets. Like once it starts to hit dusk around there, that's when you got a lot of the muggins that go down. Purse snatching, not really too many violent crimes, just a lot of stupidity like that. But to be fair, until they put the cameras up, you used to get a lot of purse snatching over by Central Park West.
My father was mounted cop Central Park for a while.
Yeah.
On that area.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember where he started, but he just referred to it as the jungle for obvious reasons. And he
if now I got the song stuck in my head. Thank you, time.
If he was the jungle, yeah, they had him in Brooklyn then.
I wouldn't be surprised. He's been all over the damn place. He'd probably have good stories if I ever bothered to show him this, which I sure as hell wouldn't.
The projects over in Brooklyn, the locals refer to it as the zoo. That's why ODB had that song Brooklyn Zoo. He's specifically talking about the projects over there. I won't even go into those projects. Seriously, they're bad fucking
And
news,
Scooby
man.
will go anywhere in New York.
Yeah, I'm a little bit stupid like that. But no, there's certain neighborhoods you don't go into. And there's even, believe it or not, people like get shocked when I tell them this. There's certain neighborhoods on Long Island you want to avoid going into. Like, you don't want to go into certain streets in like Wyandanch or Freeport or Hempstead. You don't want to go into, especially look at Brentwood. They're chopping these kids up and leaving them in the park like it's free. So
I remember my friend lived in fucking Hempstead for a while before they moved out here. That was a wonderful change.
Yeah, what part of Hempstead?
I don't know. I haven't talked to her in years now. We were in high school together. That's basically what I could tell you. I just remember saying, she said like it was a complete shithole and she never would go back.
You know, it's funny. People talk about New York City, but at this point, Long Island is actually far worse. Specifically, Nassau County. Weibo was actually talking about it on the stream. I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago. She had went for that FBI thing, and Nassau County was there. And I was chuckling when she said that, and I told her the reason I was chuckling. I think his name is Galata. He was the county rep. They got him on, and he beat them. I couldn't believe it. My jaw was hanging. They got him on something like over 24 counts of like embezzlement and extortion and racketeering and all sorts of wonderful shit. And he beat it hands down. I couldn't believe it about a month ago. But they wound up having to close 60% of the precincts in Nassau County because they couldn't afford to keep them open anymore. So it's starting. We've been joking, like, you know, we're waiting for OCP to roll in and take over because it's starting to get like that there. Because check this out: every county within like distance of the New York City limits, the rule is the waiting period for a gun is like upwards of near a year. It's like ridiculous. It's like 6 months to a year, depending. It's some ridiculous bullshit number they give you. Nassau County, which shares its border with Queens, they reduced it down to 30-day waiting period because there's no cops to defend them. Yeah, it's gotten that bad in Nassau. Like, you can see the video I cut probably about maybe 2 or 3 months ago. I cut a video when I took my wife. She had to get her teeth worked on. Yeah, that's Nassau County, Long Island. It's right next to Queens, but that's not Queens yet. And that's what it looks like. It's all housing projects. It's you got syringes and bottles all over the place. Homeless guys sleeping on the gutters. You go into Queens, you're not getting that now. That's where all the money is. They like it flipped.
That's where all
like
the
20
hippies
years.
are.
20 years ago, yeah. Well, 20 years ago, it would have been the reverse. You go into Queens and you see all that. You go into Nassau, and it was nicer because, you know, Long Island and the city. Now it's reversed. Like, you go into Queens, it's nicer. You go into Nassau County, and there's junkies and drug addicts everywhere. You know?
No.
Yeah. Well, it's like they said. It started happening about 5-10 years ago. The shift was like everything that used to be urban moved out more into the more suburban areas, and everything that used to be in the burbs, the nicer parts, started to move back into the city. So there's been like a shift. It's the damnedest thing. Like, I can go into parts of Brooklyn like 20-30 years ago. The boys used to go in there to pick up angel dust. Now you see people going in there and they're going to pick up like matching tapestries and shit. Completely different. Like, look, people go up into now, they go off Bed-Stuy Ave and Bushwick. They go up to like Wilby or Cordelia, and they go in there now to like eat Indian food. We used to go up there to pick up Red Devil and Crazy Eddie. So it amazes me the gentrification that went down up there.
How are Red
That's
Devil
like,
and Crazy Eddie? How they been doing?
Well, it depends on who you pick up off. If you pick up off of Dread, the Crazy Eddie he used to have, that was the fire right there. That shit would light the back of your head on fire. That was some serious shit. The Red Devil, you want to talk to Spoons. Otherwise, you're not going to get anything good. You're going to get it's going to be water. It's not. But definitely look for Spoons. He's got the army jacket and he's got the brindle pit. Just fucking drug addicts listening, and like that are local around in the neighborhood because I shilled it out before.
All nodding their head in unison, like, yeah.
The younger guys are all writing it down. For the youngsters who are listening, look, I think Spoons has been dead at least 5 years, boys. You got to find somebody else. But
sorry, guys, you got to find somebody else.
What about Frosty? Frosty's okay though.
Oh, what you mean, Dredd? Oh, I haven't seen Dredd in God. The last time I seen Dredd, he was up over at Washington Square Park with his longboard. He seemed all right. So That's back in the day shit, man. I'm talking last time I think honestly that anyone I was with picked up off a dread was probably 98. So about 20 years ago. But that's when Dinkins was running the city. It was like Candyland. You could go in there and get anything. Oh my God, could you get anything? I was telling Nano Reaper about it. You could pick up a used Mac 10 for about probably $100, maybe less.
Used.
Clip it. Yeah, clipping it. Oh yeah, you do. Well, I used to tell people all the time, like the younger guys, they'd all say, "Oh, I want a brand new gun without any bodies." Okay, fool. That way, when you get picked up by the cops, they match it directly to it. You know what? Get yourself one with a graveyard going back to 64. Oh, why would I want one that goes back to 64? What year were you born? 94. Okay, so it's got a graveyard predating you by 30 years. You know what that means? Every one of those things they got to try to tie to you if they're going to try to tie the one that they got you in there for. Any attorney worth his salt is going to say that to you.
Yep.
Yeah. That's why I get annoyed when I talk to these youngsters and they're like, yeah, well, I'm going to get me something, you know, fresh out the box, this, that, and the third. Yeah, okay, rookie. You go ahead.
You really shouldn't be discouraging idiots from doing idiotic things, though.
Well, you know, by me, that's the beauty of it. They got cameras everywhere now, night vision, infrared, all that shit. They even got these things. I forget what they're called. If you actually do the stupidity of shooting a gun, it actually turns every camera on and points them at where the gun was fired.
They call it a shot spotter, right? Where it actually triangulates the sound.
Yeah.
Something like that,
It gets better. We got next gen tech here where if you're running, get this. If you're running and the camera's tracking you, it talks to the computer and it shoots it to the next camera so they start tracking you.
Yeah.
So you could be basically like riding a bike, top speed, darting through traffic, trying to get away, and this thing's just following you through like 15 blocks worth of traffic. Like, there he goes. There he goes. There he is. Let's just keep following him. There's no escape around here. That's one of the reasons, like, when I talk to some of these young kids and they tell, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna go knock over the liquor store. Yeah, how the fuck are you gonna do that? Yeah, seriously, good luck with that, kid. We're about probably 2 years away from them triangulating satellites and shit. So yeah, you know what? If you can find out how to knock over a liquor store and get away with it, kid, let me know. Seriously, because I'd like to just walk outside and get a hamburger without half of the government agencies knowing where the fuck I'm going. So. You know, and it's sad. Me and Irv were talking about this last week, and I know you don't believe in papers, you know, like stop and frisk and all that shit, bro. If we did not have that around here, holy shit, would it get out of hand?
Look,
I know I've always been a supporter for stop and frisk, even though people are like, not against it. Like it does more good than harm.
Yeah.
Also, I just realized I have a video on my. Because I'm going through like my assets and whatever. I have a video of a Tibetan man lighting himself on fire in Lhasa. I don't know why that's on my computer.
I think I have like 3 or 4 of those.
I have weird shit on my computer, but I didn't know that was one of them.
Yeah, I remember when Rage Against the Machine was using that as an album cover.
Yeah.
That was when Rage Against the Machine was good.
Yeah. I seen them at Woodstock and loved the whole set.
Woodstock too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was at Woodstock.
But see, Purposeful was at the first Woodstock, not the other one.
No, I definitely was. I wasn't even alive then, or was I?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Plot twist: I'm a vampire.
You and Putin. What were you saying, Irv?
You got to do me a favor. You got to give my girl Vicky a wrench, please.
Shit. Okay, let me actually open this up. Then give me a second. All right, hold on.
Burnside needs to quit working such weird fucking hours. I'm getting fucking tired.
The Scooby too. All right.
Trying to think of.
We don't need silence while I'm giving her a wrench. Give me a second.
We ran out of things. That's what we were hoping you had subjects because we were kind of just trailing around earlier.
I'm okay. The stop and frisk. I mean, I don't like it. And we have this thing in Toronto. We did have this thing. Some people want to bring it back called carding, where basically if you're standing around, cops can card you. They can ask for your ID, right? The thing is, there is a major loophole in it. Is all you have to say is I don't have ID because it's not stop and frisk. They can't search you. So, but I don't like the idea of living in a city, a province, a nation where I have to worry that someone with a badge and a gun can just demand my papers. I don't live there. That's not a free country anymore. I know it does it can be seen as effective to a degree, but that is not okay. It's just not right.
Yeah, see, then I would end up, having that same scenario that I told you guys about off air happen, and my aunt would have to kill me because I went against her wishes and went to fucking Canada and something weird as fuck happened.
See,
Well,
like,
if these places that tried to do stop and frisk or carding and stuff didn't have such rampant crime, then they wouldn't have to institute things to try to curb that crime, now would they?
I think there's other alternatives.
Oh, there clearly are. There are clearly multiple alternatives to actually reduce the crime to where you don't have to have things like stop and frisk and all this other stuff. But here's the thing, actually. Most of the places that we're talking about, most of the places that and institute these types of policies are places that are long-term controlled by left authoritarian politics. And they lead these places into becoming poverty-stricken shitholes, and they enact specific policies that actually encourage crime, encourage people to not be socially or family knit together. And then at the end of the day, when let's be fair, they either do realize that their policies lead to crime, which is why they do it, which is malicious, or they're retarded and they don't understand that their policies lead to crime.
I go with the latter.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I don't judge intent because intent doesn't matter nine times out of 10, because you can judge outcome. You can judge outcome, and it doesn't matter. Like, either A, they're stupid and they need to not be in power anymore, or B, they do it maliciously, which is obviously bad, and they need to not be in power anymore. So the end result is still the same, right? Regardless of whether what the intent is.
I think it might have something to do with the concept of rampant empathy and compassion. Is that what?
I don't think so.
Maybe that
I don't think people are as compassionate.
Attempt to be altruistic.
I don't think people are as compassionate or altruistic as they lead themselves onto.
Altruism, I think, might be actually different. I don't know if that's necessarily driven by the same, by compassion or empathy. I'm sorry, I'm a Jordan Peterson fan. All right, I don't know how you feel about him or particularly care. I think he's right about this.
He's about 90% correct.
Okay, nice. Okay. He describes it as a mother bear that's clawing open your stomach and crushing your skull in her jaws is being incredibly empathetic and compassionate to her cubs. And I think that's what we see a lot on the far left, where they're like, we have to destroy cisgendered white heterosexual males because other people are suffering. And their compassion for other people makes an enemy out of whatever they see as better off. And
they don't have compassion for those other people.
Malicious, but it does lead to monstrous things.
But they don't have compassion. Listen. If it was right, I get what you're saying. What you're saying is that all of the left or whatever, which is authoritarian. So we're not talking. I mean, they are left because their economic policies are super left. But we're talking about left authoritarians, right?
Right.
And their claim is, and everybody else's claim based off their claim is that, we're compassionate and we fight for minorities and we fight for people who aren't the dominant power or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That falls on its face when you actually look at the fucking facts. It has literally nothing to do with compassion, and it has everything to do with propping up their fucking ideology. And the people that are actually doing the grunt work are the ones propping up the ideology of other people, the actual authoritarians, the ones who actually benefit from being in an authoritarian society because they're the ones at the top. The people at the bottom, they're just fucking stupid. They have no idea. They're literally just mindless fucking lapdogs that have no idea what the fuck's going on in the grand scheme of things, and their emotions are being manipulated to get them to. It's like pit bulls. You hear like pit bulls attack. Like, oh well, half the side of the people are like, oh well, pit bulls are nice. It just depends on who the owner is, right? And if you have a bad owner, you have a bad pit bull. Well, this is this exact same thing. The people that are on the left, like the Antifas and the BLMs and your average everyday, like I stand up for trans people or whatever, they're just abused dogs. That's all it is. They're abused fucking dogs. And that this is the case because if they truly stood up for, right, what do they say? Well, all trans people, all this and that, and all women need to be heard, this and that, and all minorities, this and that. But as soon as you get a black fucking Republican, oh, you're a fucking coon. You're a fucking coon. You throw out to women. As soon as you get a transgender that speaks anything about conservative values, oh, you're fucking a bigot, and I can't believe you, and how dare you, this and that. As soon as you get anybody that they say is protected and that all these people or whatever, and they need to be propped up, as soon as you get one of them that goes against the ideology, all bets are off. So there's literally no compassion there. Their statements are all just broad-stroked emotional statements that get a mass group of collective people to go, oh, well, I feel more than I think. And since I feel more than I think, I'm going to go towards the argument that leads to feelings, even though that argument is a terrible fucking argument. It's a false dichotomy from the fucking get-go.
It is. But I agree that there's definitely people at the top, especially on the left, that are abusing the concept of, are abusing the ideology, suggesting they're compassionate and empathetic when they're not, because they want votes and they want people to follow them.
Well, they just play the game and they see what the idiots do.
I would hope that you can agree that, yes, there are relatively less intellectual and more feeling people that eat it up because they're compassionate. And they're
not compassionate. Listen, that's only half of what that side of the economically left authoritarian side is. That's only half the argument. Is, oh, we have to feel for these people. The other side is you're going to get free stuff, right? So when you're promised free stuff, or you're given a tiny morsel of free stuff, it's like a fucking drug. It's like, oh well, we'll give you some free stuff now, and if you keep voting for us, we'll give you a little more free fucking stuff, right? There's no compassion. Human beings are not compassionate towards everybody on the fucking planet. I can prove that to any fucking buddy that comes up to me and says, oh well, I love to do this with people who go rip celebrity, right? Oh, this celebrity died, rip, I'm so sad, or whatever. Like the last time I did this was, I actually think I might have destroyed air quote friendship over this or whatever, but probably not. As far as I know, he hasn't really been talking to anybody. But there's this guy, and he'll get unnamed or whatever because I still respect him. And we got in this tiff because Total Biscuit died or whatever. And he's like, oh, I'm so sad and blah blah blah. I was like, oh, who cares? Who fucking cares? He's like, oh well, fucking, he's fucking dead, and I'll miss him and all this other stuff. I was like, did you watch his content regularly? He's like, well, sometimes or whatever. I was like, okay, so did you know him personally or whatever? It's like, are you personally grieving? Are you crying over this? Well, no, not really or whatever. I was like, then why? Well, it's just a respect thing. Oh, okay. So now we've taken the compassion out of it. Now it's just a societal norm. Now you're just complying to a societal norm. Well, no, that's not it. That's not it. I'm sad that he fucking died. It's like, well, no. See, now you caught yourself in a trap. Now what you're doing is you're trying to literally just justify your original false statement after you've been called out on it, essentially. And since you can't do that, you're going to circularly argue back and forth between the only two things that you can comprehend, instead of just letting go of your fucking ego and admitting the fucking truth. You don't care. You're not gonna lose sleep. I asked them this specifically. I asked lots of people this. Are you gonna think about this tonight when you go to bed? Oh, well, maybe. Oh, okay, so maybe. Maybe how much? Well, not much. It's so you're still gonna wake up and go to work tomorrow. You're not gonna be grief stricken or anything. Well, no. Oh, okay. So then I pull up a website. Usually 9 times out of 10, I'll pull up a website wherever they're locally at. You know what I mean? Try to get it more local and close to the heart, if I know where they are, and I'll go to the obituary section. And I'll start reading off people's names. I'll be like, what about these people? Well, who are they? Oh, she just died of a heart attack and left behind 2 kids. Oh, well, that sucks. Oh, that sucks. No rip. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
It's a false connection. Nobody gives a shit. Like right now, during the course of me even explaining this, people have died in the world.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks about that, and nobody cares. Even when you bring it up, they're just like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, I guess. Makes sense. There's a lot of people in the world. A lot of people die.
Well, I hate saying this because it's going to make me sound like a monster, but it'll make you sound much better after what I'm about to say. The way I look at it is compassion and cruelty are interchangeable and they're relative. Really quick though, Tara's falling asleep. You said you wanted to say goodnight?
Yeah. All right. I'll see everyone later. I am just literally trying to keep my eyes open here.
All right.
Have a good night, then.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys tomorrow night. I'll probably run a stream.
I love
right,
that
cool.
thing you sent me, Tara. It's awesome. I want one. Put it on Redbubble.
You want what now?
The pillow you sent me.
That is on Redbubble.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm getting one. Don't worry. It's gonna be a little bit, but I'll get one.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to get one for patches.
All
All right. Have a good night, Tara.
right. Good night, guys.
Something cookie dough.
Eat it this time.
This time it wasn't me. Good night.
Good night. So, the reason I'm saying compassion and cruelty are relative and are interchangeable, look at the Nazi Party and the Holocaust. And I hate saying it like that, but I've talked to a lot of white supremacists who will argue that the conveyor belt extermination was compassionate. They'll say that the conveyor belt exterminations were compassionate because, well, look at them. The Jews were doing them a favor. Look at them. They're homosexual.
It's subjective.
I thought you were going to say on the soldiers.
Yeah, it's subjective. Relative is a little bit different, but yeah, I get what you're saying now.
Yeah, like the mass executions early war were kind of completely fucking up everybody, like the disassociation from the actual action that the death camps had.
Well, no, I mean, just in their minds, because these people were just so subhuman that they were doing them a favor anyway. So what they were doing was God's work. That's really how some of them looked at it.
They were doing a favor for the rest of society.
Yeah.
Right.
It was a utilitarian argument, which unironically, the situation that you're talking about, people actually have a better argument for that than the people who I, call out on their, rip this fucking celebrity. Like,
yeah, no, that you're.
Well, people that find themselves in their
I'm not saying
niche.
it's right, obviously. I'm just saying, like,
No,
there's a
niche.
better argument for those people than the people who are just like, oh, yeah, I care about the starving kids in Africa. No, the fuck you don't. Are you kidding me?
Can I tell you?
You don't care about the starving kids that live on your own block.
I think it's easy to weaponize empathy.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, what I've got something here from Aldous Huxley that I'm never going to find the quote, and I'm not going to do it justice. That if you want people to rise up in for some kind of cause, promise them the opportunity to abuse people.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Tell them there's an enemy who's horrific and needs to go, and they'll rise up, because you can indulge in the darkest, deepest depths of the. Each person is capable of great good and great evil, and if you're allowed suddenly, if you're offered this opportunity to perform acts of great evil in the name of good, that he calls it the most luxurious of amoral treats, right?
That only works when you have an angry people, though.
Well, yeah, but
it's not hard to stir people up.
I do think that that the way Scooby's talking about it's a good idea.
I'm just saying, like, if you came into a group of people like Liechtenstein is a pretty good example, like or the Swiss. You know what I mean? Like neutral parties, people who are completely neutral to all things. Like it'd be really hard to go into these countries. Like you'd have to do a lot of, subversion.
Propaganda to the hell.
You'd have to do a lot of
the
fucking
uproot
subversion.
culture of like
Exactly.
200
Over a
years.
long period of time to get enough people significantly pissed off enough to where that would work.
Yeah, you'd have to rewrite society as a whole.
Well, you have to
Be committed to your nutcase job.
like
Well-
I was just getting back to what I was talking about before, the point that you guys were bringing up about compassion and everything. I think that there is on the left. Now, I'm saying this as someone who deals with New York Democrats regularly. My wife's family were actually like, they were originally campaigning for Bernie. When he got fucked, they immediately went to Hillary. They're true Democrats. They're all like, a few of them are like either office holders or have ran for office. I mean, these are actual. I mean, I deal with the people who wear the donkey lapel pin on the regular, and this is straight from the donkey's mouth what I heard, and it's actually what made me go and write that speech for Moore last year. I was at a wedding party, and it was all of the young Democrats from like. Couple from California, a couple from Massachusetts. They were here for a wedding. And they explained to me what their belief system is. You can't make this shit up. They go like this. They said, well, you have to understand something.
Oh dear.
They're not white, you see. And because they're not white, they're just simply never going to have any of the opportunities that are afforded to any of us. This is the
when you
reason
start
that
treating them like fucking, stop treating them like fucking children, and yeah, maybe they will.
Bro, let me tell you how they put it to me. Let me finish. Don't interrupt. You got to hear this. You got to hear
Yeah,
this.
it's going to be
right?
some of the most racist shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
getting
yeah.
ready. I'm just bearing myself.
Right? So they go like this. They go, well, they're not white, so they obviously are not going to have the same opportunities afforded to us. This is the reason that we, as white people, have to remove ourselves to the lowest rung. Specifically because it doesn't matter, no matter what the opportunities we afford them, we're still going to ascend and surpass them simply because they're not white. I'm looking at these people like, and you motherfuckers got the balls to call me deplorable.
Right.
Wow. Holy shit. They actually, this is what their mindset is. They actually think that because someone isn't white, that they're just not going to succeed. So they have to give them everything because they're that inferior. I told this to
that was them being shockingly like honest to you too, because that's how most of them feel. Like in the depths, even the ones that don't understand that that's the way they feel. That's how they truly feel. That's why that whole like, that's why they if you're propping somebody up, it's inherently because you feel like they can't get themselves up there. You know what I mean? Otherwise, why would you do it? Like nobody would do that. You know what I mean? No one, like the people I would help, I would go out of my way to help or quote unquote prop up, or like people who legitimately I know for a fact can't do it. Like,
yeah,
you know, like mentally fucking disabled children and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the fucking bar I leave it at for things like welfare. You know what I mean? State controlled, state like quote unquote handouts or whatever. Adult men who are not legally fucking like retarded. No, why? Oh, because he's black? No, what do you mean because he's black? Are you fucking, what kind of racist shit is that? Like, so you're what you're telling me is, and they'll all say this, right? They don't make this argument, but literally what they are telling you is because of somebody's fucking skin color, they can't succeed in life.
Mm-hmm.
Like that doesn't make any sense, right? Like, you know, everybody can make the argument. Like any moron can make the argument. Like somebody with fucking like cerebral palsy or some shit like that, you know what I mean, can't fucking support themselves, right? That is a very clear and succinct argument you can make based off of like, I mean, fuck, you could even go so far as to be like, have you even seen someone with cerebral palsy? Like it's pretty fucking blatantly obvious they can't just self-sustain, right?
Yeah.
But these people, that's not an argument people have. The argument people have is like, or what they tell you is like, oh, because they're black.
Yeah, it's
because what do you mean? Black is a disability now? Like, are you fucking high? I'm not here sitting here saying black is a disability, and somehow I'm the fucking racist.
Pox throwing Molotovs, I love it.
Are you kidding me?
But it's deeper, right? But they explain it poorly.
Oh no! See, here's the thing: racism is a system of oppression for the people that have power onto the people that don't have power. Yeah. Okay. So still somehow I'm the one who's a racist. You're the one sitting here in positions of power, telling me that you're arguing to me that black people can't do anything just simply based on the color of their fucking skin, and I'm somehow the oppressor. Like, are you fucking high?
They've developed this entire school of thought without evidence or proper study of any kind.
No, not thought. Not you got to air quote. You got to air quote when you say thought.
Quote thought. Yeah. All right. Yeah, but you touched on it. The systemic bullshit, and it is bullshit. But you can convince people of this pretty easily when they're not paying attention. Because again, we've had this discussion before that if everyone was like you, they would all know that it's bullshit and we wouldn't have the problem. But instead, people just want to sort of go about their lives and they'll take the word of an authority, of an educator,
what the
like
TV says is word.
Gender and what's the intersectional studies.
Nonsense.
Yeah, nonsense. It is nonsense. But they have a PhD, so people will believe it, right? Because they don't want to actually do the research for themselves. They don't want to look at the numbers. They don't want to bother. They want to trust CNN. They want to trust people with PhD. And there's good the I don't know how.
You're breaking up, homie.
Okay, I thought it was me for a moment.
I thought it was me too.
Yeah, I'm like, oh no.
It's like literally never just one person. Like, I'm just throwing that out there.
Well,
I learned that. I learned that a long time ago.
Well, Irv's looking like an album cover right now. I think it's his OBS is fucking up on him. The thing is, like, I think I told you that they assigned a kid to work with me from the state about 2 years ago now, and I swear to Christ, they're watching me from upstairs and they think it's funny to fuck with me. This kid that they gave me, I'm sitting there talking to him, and he asks me, he's like, "So, are you into activism at all?"
Oh dear.
Yeah, and so I look at this kid. And
do I look like a massive faggot?
Yeah, seriously, you guys have seen what I look like off camera. Do I look like somebody you'd strike up a conversation with about activism?
It's funny. So, I still say activism, even though it's usually completely other types of activism. Not that I've done shit for a long time.
So this
don't
kid
even get me started on SEIE.
Yeah. So this kid starts telling me about his quote-unquote activism. I think he said it was Fordham. I want to say Fordham University. And he's telling me how he's at Fordham and how they're going on and on about they just realized, him and his friends, that no one had worked in this department in his college that was black. So they decided that they were going to protest. And they were the ones, it was all over the news, that shut down traffic on Lexington Avenue by they formed a human chain. So I'm sitting there, and this kid's telling me this. Now, one of my friend's fathers passed away, and this guy couldn't get to the hospital because these assholes formed this human chain. So that's one thing I remember. And I'm looking at him, and he's going on and on about how he was all proud of himself that they formed this human chain to try to get this guy elected. He's like, "What do you think of that?" I said, "Well, I think it's hideous, and I think you're an asshole." And this kid looked at me, he goes, "What?" I said, "Well, you and your lazy shitbird friends, why didn't you guys, I don't know, hit the fucking books and within a semester apply for the position instead of whining like a bunch of little fucking sissy Marys out in the street and causing trouble for other people?" Kid could not believe. He actually fucking reported to his supervisors that I triggered him and that he wanted a reassignment because he couldn't handle what I said to him. And they actually had his supervisor, the supervisor for the county, and the supervisor for like the lower region of the state. I had to sit there and have like a four-way call with these people because they wanted to know what happened. So I told them, they're like, "Well, what did you call him?" He said you made a homosexual So, no, I called him a sissy Mary, and I called him a Nancy boy. Oh, well, those aren't appropriate. I don't give a shit what you think is appropriate. I said the kid's a friggin' herb. He's got no balls to him whatsoever, and no spine. He's the jellyfish in a tie.
What was the name of that Russian ambassador to Turkey or whatever that got shot like a year ago on TV?
Good Lord. Wow, talk about taking a complete left turn.
I'm sorry. I'm looking for something for showing a bill getting shot down in the Roman Republic, so I'm trying to have the bill stand in place of the guy.
You're trying to make a meme?
Oh, that's what usually my shitty backdrops are.
I don't remember off the top of my
Yeah, I
head.
can't remember what his name is, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'll find it eventually.
You could go to Google and type in "Day of the Rake" and go to images, and I'm sure you'll find it. Although his head will be transposed with like a leaf, and the other guy's head will be transposed with a rake.
Fair enough. Well, at least Irving's alive again.
Oh,
Really?
good.
That long? That's it. Like, seriously? I was listening the whole time. I didn't disconnect.
I know. I was just interacting.
Dude, Irving, bro, I would just like to congratulate you.
Yes. On
not being the most cucked nation in the world anymore.
Oh my God, no!
You've been supplanted by England, the Great British Empire.
Are like God. They're so far ahead of us, and this government is so ineffectual. Even though they're exactly what you say they are, but they're not getting anything done. We're so lucky. But yeah.
Hey,
man, look at the bright side. Look at the bright side. You don't have things like Article 13.
The internet waves.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. No, but I saw this great thing. On Twitter. Geez, put white national put Hitler speeches backdropped against copyrighted music, and then when the EU finds them for being copyrighted, they'll be making money on Nazi propaganda, which is illegal in the EU.
There's always a good way to game the system to fuck them over.
Yeah.
Hey, are you doing after hours?
I will be.
Cool.
I like the. I saw a meme the other day. It was obviously a cartoon or whatever. It's like a British kid or whatever, and then a cop comes up to him, and he's like, and the cop says, "Oi, mate, you got a license for that meme?" And then the kid turns to him, and he's like, "Do you?" Because the "Do you got a license" is a fucking meme now.
Yeah.
That's so sad that we're living in such a draconian time.
Oh no. What's this we shit? We're not. Well, we're not. We're not.
Oh, I know. I mean,
This
damn.
circles back. This circles back to that question you were asking earlier, Porp, about why aren't people being strung up in the streets? In the U.S., if they tried to pull this shit, you would string people up in the fucking street.
Probably.
Right? Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's why it's not happening there. It's happening up here to a degree. It's happening in Sweden and in the UK and in a lot of the EU. I don't think it will ever will in the US. I don't think it can. All right.
We have enough bullshit. We have enough freedom repellent or freedom
as repellent that you would be kicking down doors and stringing people up, right? And that would be the end of it.
Yeah.
Well, on a serious note, I've been telling the people that I talk to that are from England, I've been telling them you should actually encourage Article 13. And they get obviously a little upset at that. But then I explained to them, you should encourage Article 13. You should incur the European Union, right? No, you should incur the might of the European Union to crack down on the internet in such a massive authoritarian manner. Because when people aren't, not any political side, when people aren't allowed to use the internet anymore without having to pay for every fucking thing they click on, you will see massive rioting in the fucking streets.
My Netflix.
Left, right, center, authoritarian, libertarian, everybody loves the fucking internet. I don't give a shit. You could be a fucking tanky, you could be a fucking anarcho-capitalist. It doesn't fucking matter.
It's too ingrained into our lives
Oh
nowadays.
yeah. If you enact something like Article 13, which will inevitably just fucking destroy the internet infrastructure there, you will have massive amount of social unrest. And then from that, it will spring up the change that you want. So my thought on this is, you've heard the term never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake.
Yeah.
Of course.
This is a prime example because out of all of the things that the EU does, like force people to take immigration, stuff like that, they're all like one-sided issues. When it comes to something that's going to affect everyone and essentially get them to pseudo band together, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Considering people already are, you can see it happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
wanna-
Hold on a second.
See what's going to happen. It's like these people are coming together. It's like
Oh, you
it's gonna
can't.
incur the fucking wrath of everybody. It's going to
Yeah.
be a complete storm of where it's going to be one of the.
And nobody.
It's so ingrained that internet is like basically a fucking human right now to people. That if you don't have
I think
internet,
the internet is a human right.
Yeah.
Well,
That's in our human rights doctrine.
Communication is a human right. We have the right to talk to each other. We have the
Yeah.
right to communicate.
okay. Pox is saying that that will backfire hard. Eurofags will just take it, maybe not Poland, and I'm going to throw in Hungary, but the
Fucking
rest would
beat the
just spread
piss.
the butt cheeks.
No, they won't.
I disagree, and I don't know if you guys watched Joe Rogan's podcast. He had Elon Musk on a little while ago.
Irv,
don't think
do
I
me a
watched
favor.
that.
Shoot Pox a link if you could.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
haven't talked to
Yeah,
Fox
seriously.
right though.
They won't, because if you actually read that whole doctrine or whatever, or at least just the parts that have to do with the internet, that is going to force service providers, which is every website you attend. You go on the internet and you type in something and you click on something and it goes to a link, you are at a service provider. They are providing you a service.
Yeah.
Right holders are everywhere. Like I hold the rights to like this. Everything that I put on my website that doesn't have anything to do with anybody else, totally my rights. Like it's everywhere. Like so you're talking about things that are bigger than you can fucking contain, right? They're not just things you can put easily into a fucking box. One of the things that's in those articles is that service providers, all of them, everything from YouTube to fucking Joe fucking Smith's fucking Wonder blog, you know what I mean? So someone that gets like 4 or 5 clicks a fucking year, you know what I mean? They all have to institute an algorithm that every single piece of data that comes across their service or their website, it's going to have to crunch all that and find out where the rights are, who's the right holder, what the copywritten material is, right? So that already is going to bog down the fucking system. It's damn near impossible to fucking implement. And the reason it's damn near impossible to implement is, like I said, there are so many people that are rights holders. There's so many different copyrights out there. The size of the machine that you would have to use, the size of the hard drives, the size of the computing power to process all of the fucking copywritten material that is out there is far larger than any of the YouTube, Google fucking server databases. Like there's a massive amount of fucking copyrights out there, and shit is being created every fucking day. Like if I draw a picture, I could just sit there and draw pictures every day. And the machine, the algorithm under Article 13 would have to take that. It would have to attach that as me being the right holder to that. And then that would have to go into the system. So it would be an ever-growing massive amount of systems. So there's this thing where it's like, on one hand, it's fucking unenforceable. Unenforceable as in like you're never going to enforce all of it. You know what I mean? It's not going to be a complete equal thing. It's going to be selective enforced.
Like almost enforcing drugs in the U.S. with kids with weed. That is just
right.
A lot of them won't care, or even fucking speeding's probably the better example. That it's like, don't do it again.
Right. Yeah, speeding's illegal, but fucking everybody speeds until they see a cop parked on the side of the highway. Then everybody slows down and goes the speed limit. You know what I mean? And as soon as everybody's 500 or 600 feet away from them, they go right back up to 80 miles an hour.
Yeah,
80's pussy.
Hey, Sarah.
We're talking 100 here.
Hi.
Oh, night, Rose.
Welcome to the
But
party.
I wanted to say I disagree with
Thank you.
Potts. And sorry. I disagree because I was watching Joe Rogan and Elon Musk. And he was talking about like the layers of your brain and moving into like one day we'll be cyborgs, right? That you have a limbic system, which is very much your animal brain, your needs and your immediate desires. And then you have a cortex that gives you the ability to reason and plan longer term so that you can actually, he suggests the entire job of the cortex is to satisfy the limbic system, but over a longer period of time. Now we have this, all right? We have this piece of machinery that has already made us a cyborg, whether or not we know it. We have infinite access to all the information available in the world, in our pockets. And if someone tries to take that away, that tertiary system, limbic, cortex, phone, we will riot. We're already dependent on it. 3 billion of us have fucking internet through our phones.
Okay, so I get what you're saying, but here's the thing. He might not inherently be wrong. There is a possibility that they will, like, just, you know, the majority will just bow down and take it. But this is something, if they do that, it'll collapse their economy. It'll just absolutely destroy the European economy. Because nobody, right? So you have two options when after something like this gets enacted. Either A, people get pissed off because they found out that the picture that they uploaded of them eating a fucking taco from Taco Bell, the food is copywritten, the fucking the chair that they're sitting in, it has a copyright on it. I know this is hard for people to grasp their fucking hands on.
It's Pandora's
Everything
box.
around you is copywritten. Designs are copywritten. Anything that has a logo or a fucking name is copywritten. You could post the most innocuous picture of you at the fucking mall and you could have to end up paying like $50 because you posted that fucking picture. That's going to piss a lot of people off. Or on the flip side, if it doesn't piss them off and they'll just decide, well, this is gay, I'm just going to stop posting pictures online. I'm going to stop getting online. I'll just stop doing things online. And since the world's fucking economy, especially for the West, is online, it's going to fucking destroy the economy.
Yeah. Like, if this stuff goes through, think about this.
Which in turn will indefinitely lead to civil unrest. Like,
yeah. I would have to pay the Trump organization for the logo on my hat. I'd have to pay Disney for the logo on my T-shirt. I'd have to pay the NRA for my pendant on my chain here. I'd probably have to pay my watchman.
Fucking Friday the 13th for your fucking mask.
I'd have to pay the NHL for that.
I was going to say the NHL is going to get that money. Yeah. Yeah, everyone
there would be a machine. No, this is how deep it goes. There, inside of the algorithmic machine that had to crunch all. Dude, you're laughing, but this is some serious shit. This is what they're asking for. The paint that is on the wall behind you is copywritten to the company that produced that paint. That color is copywritten. So in the machine, they're going to have it to where it scans the color, the paint on the fucking wall. And it will go in the machine and it will say, we have a match for this machine. It's fucking turquoise beige by Bear Paints. And you'll have to pay Bear Paints for showing fucking paint on the wall. That's what they're asking for.
It gets even better. Think about this. With the high definition cameras, when the young teenage girls, they're doing their makeup, guess what? It reads the makeup. Yeah, they gotta pay now because she's putting the makeup on in her video. Okay. Every one of those brushes, every piece of makeup, everything that she just applied, she has to pay for because she had the name brand on there and she showed it, and that was it. Now she has to pay the copyright for that. That's how that works. So you got to think about that. You go to comb your hair. If your comb, the black plastic comb says Goody, you got to pay Goody because you used the comb while you were doing your hair. You
know what? Fuck that. Goody's a good fucking brand. That's my only brush, and they'll pay me for using their fucking their brush on stream. All right, I'm advertising for them for free. Fuck off.
I'm just saying, you have to think of it like that. Like every movement you do, if you're one of those people that streams your life, Well, you're gonna pay
So
for
you're
it.
boned. You're so boned.
Yeah.
And it's
And
funny
that's what
because
it is.
those people, those are the people that are actually standing up for this type of thing, because they're like, oh, the only people that are going to get, the only YouTubers that are going to get affected by this are people who like post news articles and then critique them and stuff. Oh, lol, politifags get wrecked, faggots. Like, oh no. You guys, everybody is boned. Everybody is boned in this. That's the beauty of it. The fact that everybody is boned in it, it takes away the us versus them mentality. It takes away the, oh, one side gets it, so that way half of the people in the country are satisfied. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally everybody is pissed off. So you have two options. Everyone's pissed off, and you have two options. Either the first option, everybody gets pissed off enough to where it tips and it's the breaking point. They're like, no, I want my fucking internet back, goddammit. Or B, they just stop using the fucking internet because it breaks them. Financially, it's going to fucking break them. Like those are the two options. So I mean, either way, I mean, one is if they all get mad and they're like, give us our fucking internet back, and they hit the streets and whatever, like that's the quicker resolve to it or whatever. If they want to sit back and sit on the laurels, which I mean, this is why I'm saying, like, I don't totally disagree with them here, because like every other thing that's happened literally can lead you to the conclusion that, like, I mean, for fuck's sake, dude, these people's daughters are getting raped in the fucking street, right? Their children are getting fucking quote unquote groomed, which is code for fucking molested by large amounts of fucking men in fucking basements and shit. Like, I get it. This stuff can happen, and they just kind of sit back and they're like, whatever, I'll just go shit post on the internet and, you know, everything's fine. So like, I get it, but that's still tied to like a side versus side. That's like a political thing. You know what I mean? Like that's half the side has a stance, the other side has a stance. I'm talking about something that truly affects everybody, no matter who the fuck it is. You're going to have politicians that are going to get hit with this. Now, of course, they'll probably, to be fair, I mean, they'll get around it. They won't have to pay any fines or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? They'll be the good people, you know, like verified check marks of the fucking censorship world. But it'll ultimately lead to one of two things. They'll either get mad and they'll hit the streets, or B, they'll get mad and they'll stop using the internet. They'll be forced. Let me backtrack that. They'll be forced to stop using the internet because they won't be able to pay for it any fucking more, and it'll destroy their economy, which is the slow burn option. And that's probably the one that is really going to suck for them the most, which unironically, if you really think about all of the other decisions that they've made, that'll probably be, he's probably right. They probably will sit back and do nothing and just sit there and take it, because they like that slow fucking torture. And I think they're actually, European societies have become incredibly masochistic, and they just like seeing all of the things that they've worked so hard to fucking build be completely destroyed, slowly burned around them. So it might be the latter of the option, but even then, at the end of the day, it's going to lead them into an economic collapse. And from there, you know, the adage, you know, the phoenix will rise from the ashes. So, I mean, you know, potato.
You know, it's kind of ironic. I figure it's going to take a couple more years. What is this, like every century, like in the late 40s, we're gonna have to go back over to Europe and rebuild it?
Well, not the Marshall Plan. That was the South. Was it the Marshall Plan that was Europe rebuilding, or was that the South?
Yeah. No,
every 100 years we have to go keep the Germans in fucking check.
Basically, that's what it seems to be winding out to. So.
Well, right now we should be going about over when everything's about done and finished and helping.
Yeah.
And then get to walk up a hill and get shot horribly.
Yeah. I'm concerned. Obviously, I'm concerned with what's going on over in Europe. You know, I mean,
sure. Last thing we need is another war or revolution.
Like you know, I'm America first, no doubt. But the thing of it is, I don't want to see any more of this crazy shit that's going on over there. And, you know, I hate saying it, but they should just, I don't know, best that they can. You know, they got these elections coming up. Really, they get out there and vote. Seriously, if any of you guys are watching
anything. That doesn't do anything, Scoob. I talk to people. I'm in about, let's say regularly 2 different European-esque discords, 4 or 5 that I bounce around in between or whatever and chat with people occasionally, like maybe once or twice a month or so.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a couple that I'm pretty well active in or whatever, and other places I fuck around on the internet where there's European people, and the sentiment of people, even people on the left, is like you hear this meme here in the United States, like, oh, we're gonna hit a social civil war and shit, right? To us, that's a meme. Like we're you know what I mean? Like realistically speaking, we're pretty far ways off from that. You know what I mean? Like some serious shit is gonna have to go down before we can like even like humor that. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone hears it and they're like, oh fuck yeah, you know what I mean? Like me, I hear it and people bring it up, I'm like, well cool, I'm ready, like bring it on, whatever. Like, but you know, it's not gonna happen. Over there, like shit is on the knife's edge over there. Like it's a totally different, it's an absolutely totally different feeling over there from the people that live there. You know what I mean? Not from what the media says, not from what other people over here say about what their opinion over there is. The people that are in the thick of it, their society is on a fucking knife's edge.
They're far left.
Like
is
my friends in
down
Poland.
a number of cities already, right? Like that they're counter protesting nothing and burning down. Like, did they firebomb a bus in was it Berlin or Hamburg?
Oh, the European Antifa. That's actually like fucking loonies.
Right? Like they're literally they've got a fucking they like they're the ones that are more like they're gonna form their own anarchist commune type of people. Yeah. But they are going through what I don't know what the word for it is, a grassroots civil war, right? Where people will violently fucking oppress anyone who's not left enough, you know?
Which is insane.
Yeah.
Which is like funny because my friend, and being to Poland, we're not a fan of, as we refer to them, piece of piss, the current party in Poland, which they're pretty right wing and they're pretty different, to say the least. But they're better than po żeby, as we say, because PO is basically bend over for the EU and watch it all come down. Like that could be what sparks everything, would be an intervention in Poland for the EU or something like that they're already trying to sanction Poland and bring up articles for that, and the media is playing right into it too. Like I know I saw a fucking Vox video the other day on Poland and I'm like, well, that's bullshit, that's bullshit, that's bullshit, that's bullshit, and I'm not even a citizen of Poland. So I bring it to my Polish friend and he's looking through and he's like, Jesus fucking Christ, I made it 20 seconds in and I'm already pissed as hell.
And haven't the Polish leaders pulled shit like, we're already poor as fuck, what do you think your fucking sanctions are gonna do? Like,
yeah, Poland's actually a pretty strongish economy as it goes with growing. Like they could do with Germany, but no, I remember because piss is entertaining at the very least. That like they'll demand reparations for the Holocaust again whenever like the EU gets up and he'd be like, yeah, so about those reparations for the Holocaust, we would like $1 trillion, please. I'm trying to think. One of the leaders of piss did that. No, but yeah, no, that's like my friend because he lives in Denmark now because Poland's a fucking. It's just the politics there. It's like they're doing well domestically. It's just they're having slight issues with radicals, but they're not as bad as other parts of Europe. Like if you want certain like Nazi problems, quote unquote, Ukraine has a big thing for it because Ukraine was big for. Well, I'm probably gonna insult every fucking Ukrainian over here, but the Baltics and Ukraine had a bit of a history with the Nazis. Like there's still a lot of sympathizers there.
Oh yeah, I remember
openly,
hearing
like,
about that.
if you look in Riga or something, there's friggin' like people honoring those that fought with the Germans in World War II openly, like for the ideals and everything. That there's still a far right movement. Like I was saying fucking earlier, that for some fucking reason, Mongolia is having their far right movement as well. For God knows why.
There are no far right movements in Europe outside of somewhere like Liechtenstein.
There's
Greece,
people
too.
that are considered far right, but they're nothing significant. There's just people that are stirring up power to start shit. In the same way we have Antifa here, there's far right groups honoring shit there.
They're only considered far right because people keep misrepresenting what far right is.
Yeah, I'm mostly just referring to the. I'm just using it as a general term, which is a
Yeah.
horrible thing to do. But generally, I'm talking about like the Nazi sympathizers. The second you put Nazi, that's another fucking
That's not
buzzword.
far right though.
Well, they're a complete different section altogether. It's just from what we're trying to
Well, at best, they're just authoritarian centrism.
Yeah.
I can unfortunately empathize with the Ukrainians right now. My mom's Ukrainian German.
Where's my economy gone?
Yeah, but also being invaded by Russia
Again.
right? Having land just annexed. It's like, yeah, no. That's literally why they sided with the Nazis. So
Yeah,
I can see that rising up again, right? Like
it's
that.
like I don't hold it against Finland. I don't hold it against Finland because it's like, well, what do you have? You have neutral countries to your left, and then you have someone that really wants to be up in your ass.
Yeah, and so like I don't agree, but I understand why people would feel like that.
But there's people like honoring that ideal of anti-Semitism and just well, they completely skip over the whole Slavic thing where lesser humans there with the Rus, Poles, and other Eastern Slavs. Though I think the Royal Bohemians and Moravians got off easier. They just got conscripted into the Nazis.
They didn't have a choice.
Yeah, they got stuck. They got stuck. They just got dicked over because we had the good old League of Nations, which was even bigger joke than the United Nations, which is just fucking let's go. Now they do a little more than they did back, but speaking like the Yugoslav wars where they just kind of sat there like, this is a safe area. What does that mean? We are going to deter attacks. Okay. Cue like fucking a few months later and the entire town's been basically the Serbs go in there and kill any man or just any male and fucking rape and murder a lot of the women.
Yeah,
and the UN just kind of had to pull out of there, or fucking Rwanda looking at that too, that they had 11 of theirs killed and they just fucking pussied out.
My father, may he rest in peace, he always used to refer to the UN as the whoas of the world. He said all they do is take their money and they lay on their backs for the people with the most cash. He did not like. Yeah, he had my father was very Catholic. He never spoke any sort of profane about anything. And for him to be that vulgar about the UN shows you the disdain he had for them.
Like,
but they accomplished nothing. Yeah,
they have the power. They just kind of fuck around. Like now they'll be like, okay, we have sanctions, which, well, if you're something like North Korea, that hurts them, but it's fucking North Korea. They're not going to be doing much for free trade anyway. They smuggle shit in half the time.
You know, that's the problem. Like a lot of people had, and you know, it's one of those things. I sympathize. I can't sit there and say that they're wrong when they say, you know, the United like acting as the world's police, their job,
Really
and that's one of the things. You know, and it's one of those things. Unfortunately, a lot of America thing where it's a thing about being an American. You don't like injustice, and it bothers you. Like me personally, like when I see them doing shit in the other side of the world, and they're doing this horrible shit, I'm one of those people. Like, you know, we got the troops. They could use, you know, the guys could use. They could use a field trip. Seriously.
We have this budget for something.
Yeah, you know, and I hate saying it like that because people immediately they're like, oh, you warmonger, you this, you that.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like I'm sitting there talking about like two different political parties and the wrong one got in and we got no. I'm talking about like when you see, you know, they're sitting there and they're pistol whipping the grandmother in front of the kids, you know, and like they're shooting the goat because okay, you guys got 2 goats, bang, we're killing them because, you know, fuck you. When they're doing that crazy shit like ISIS and whatever the fuck the rest of their names are over there. When they're doing that nutty shit, I got no problem when they send our troops over there to wax these motherfuckers. You know,
I do.
It's well, you know, we could use the real world experience and training, and we got the budget, and we're paying for them anyway. You know, I'm talking like a quick in and out thing. I'm not talking like years and years of deployment. I'm talking like a mission. I got no problem with a mission.
I don't think
nothing
I don't
prolonged.
think my neighbor's ability to walk with both of his legs for the rest of his life is worth going and saving other people.
I got guys in the neighborhood like that too. I'm not trying to be discompassionate towards them. I'm just saying we have the ability to do this. We have people who are our allies. I'm not talking. I don't like these
Have an
long-term
expeditionary.
deployments.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I've got 2 kidneys. I've got the ability to give them both up to people who need kidneys, but I'm not going to do that.
Hey, that's your
Well,
choice. And the
Well, if
people
you
who
want
run it.
something, like, just have us, even though we probably have something already, just have an expeditionary force of something that we have X many, like, certain divisions that we have.
No,
That are
just
specifically,
if they have rebels in their country, sell them weapons. You can even sell it to them at a discounted price.
Because that's never backfired.
yeah, so I'll say giving other people our weapon, well, even though we do that on a mass basis with, like, say, the AR-180, which flopped.
What do you mean what do you mean that backfired? It backfired with Al Qaeda. Yeah, why? Because we went and fucked with Al Qaeda and fucked with the countries that they were in and fucked with their leaders. So obviously, yeah, they wanted to fight back with us. And since we gave them our weapons, they fought back with our weapons. Like, I am anti fucking war unless credible threats. Like the last time I've actually, maybe even in the entire time of my life, it's hard to think because there's been a lot of stuff that's going on. But like the only people that I can actually feasibly accept going to war with are places like either Iran or North Korea. Because these are countries that say, like, we're going to come and fuck your shit up. We're going to nuke the shit. We've got a nuke. We're going to fucking drop a nuke on you. We're going to come in there and we're going to launch a dirty bomb in fucking New York City. Like, oh, motherfucker, you don't threaten me. You know what I mean? Other countries, like Saddam Hussein and his chemical weapons or whatever, like, besides the fact that that was all bullshit, even if that was credible, no,
And he was
it's not my problem.
We tried to
I'm
make
not
him our
talking-
puppet beforehand.
I'm not talking about war. I'm just talking about a mission.
Yeah,
talking
that's what we're
about
saying.
looking at-
Moderate intervention,
Scoob.
controlled intervention. Not that it
come
fucking turns into a
Come
quick
on.
trip and then it turns into a 10-year journey.
Yeah, like they all do, because we got a good track record of that, right?
It's because of who we've had running the show.
Like I said,
The past 30 years, we have had nothing but incompetence running the show. We have not had the military run by military. We've had the military run by morons. For the first time since
or we actually have
child-
had the military ran by the military, and that's a scarier prospect.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Look, you have to look at it this way. You're looking at the military through the lens that's been painted to you by the media for the past 30 years. I
No,
come
no.
from a military family, and I'm telling you, we have not had control of our military. Our military has been run by bureaucracy. For the first time in 30
certain
years,
aspects. Well, the military is inherently a bureaucracy. Like, it's got a top-down structure. It has to.
it's been run by an outside bureaucracy. That's the whole
Right.
point. The military in of itself has not had final say. That's the whole problem. There's been way too much interference by different politicians, assemblymen. Different people have all had their hands in the pot. Since Trump has given it back to the military, what I'm hoping now is if any future missions during this administration, you'll see what happens when a military is actually run properly without intervention by politicians who are just doing things to pander to constituency for votes. That's been a very big hindrance. But I'm hoping you won't see any of this in the next 8 years because I don't want to see any battles. But if it does happen and we do have to deploy for a mission to avoid a war, I'm very happy with who we have in there, and I'm hoping that it will operate as a very well-oiled machine. Bro,
Who's gonna
believe me,
start a war?
And we don't
I'm
jump
just-
on garbage fires that keep burning that we're having.
right.
fucking
That's exactly
Centralia.
it. We're
We
not
don't
going to
want
do any of that
Centralia
dumpster
for a
fire
war.
shit. We're not going to do any dumpster fire shit with.
For?
That's my whole point. We're not going to be doing any of that with the old man. We got Trump in the White House, and you got Mattis running the show. You're not going to see anything done that doesn't need to be done. Believe me, I'm
not looking at this. I agree with you. It's less of a concern now
Mhm.
with the people that are in office. I'm looking at this on a political policy level based on ethics.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's someone who's completely benevolent. I don't care if it's someone who's completely malevolent. I could give a shit less. I don't care if it's Obama. I don't care if it's Trump. I am anti-war unless it's a credible threat that is actually a detriment, a credible threat that would be a detriment to the sovereignty of this nation and the people that live in it. Those
I
are the
agree.
only people I care about. Those are the only people our government should care about. I love the fact that we have a gigantic spending budget. I have no problem with the spending budget. It could probably be reduced by about 10 or 25%, and we'd still be completely fucking solid. So there's a little bit of leeway give there or whatever, especially if we had a strictly defensive military. We could cut back a little bit and we'd spend more money on defenses instead of offenses. I do not
Prefer
like the
Japan
idea.
system.
I do. Yeah. Well, Japan has an amazing
They have the
defensive
SAT
system.
for terrorism.
Yeah, they have an amazing defensive system. They have a
Is it the
terrible
SAT?
offensive system, but they're not allowed to. They're legally cucked. They're bound to not have an offensive system, right? We're not limited to that, but they do have a very amazing defense system because that's all they've been able to spend their fucking money on. I am morally and ethically against sending anybody in this nation to die for another country.
Even if it's of their own volition or volunteer.
If it's of their own volition, then they can leave this country and go join the other person's army. That's fine. That's completely fine. But again, that's not our army, is it?
Yeah, but don't we consider that somewhat illegal? Like, I remember reading in World War I about, because I know it was seen as one, because I was us when we were in our
It can
neutrality.
be depending on the circumstances, but you're asking if I have a problem with that. I know I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. I think that you as an individual should be entitled to do what you want to do, as long as it's within the confines of not being like against, like I'm a national, the name National Libertarian. I'm a national libertarian. I'm a libertarian up to the point that where I understand pragmatically that there are things that the nation is in regards to. Like we obviously have to have borders. We obviously have to have a military to protect the fucking citizens. Like I firmly believe that it is only the federal government's job to protect the nation's sovereignty, to protect national resources. That's it. Like there is not much outside of that. Social policies, no, it should have no fucking say whatsoever in social policies. That should be completely a state's fucking issue. The federal government should not dictate social fucking policy. That's retarded. This federal government should not be handing out fucking money to people. That's a fucking state's issue. The federal government is designed to uphold laws, create laws that it's allowed to create, and defend the fucking nation, defend the human beings that reside in the nation, and protect its national resources. That's all it should be fucking, that's all it was originally supposed to fucking be. That now we all know that that's gone completely fucking, the cat's out of the fucking bag at this point.
Yeah.
Like, do you think the founders of this country were like, oh yeah, well, man, wouldn't it be great if we lived in a fucking country where we like literally occupied for the next 200 fucking years, like 16 other countries out there?
No, I agree with you. You're 100% right.
Like I'm not opposed to like having a military base in Germany. I'm not opposed to having a military base in like Afghanistan, as long as they're not being used to forward war. You know what I mean? As long as it's just like, hey, we're here because we have somewhat of a nice pact with you, right? We're here to just kind of, we're the guy in the fucking middle of the street puffing out our fucking chest, right? We're here for a little bit of fucking protection and shit. But I am vehemently against just going out there and being like, oh, well, there's a problem in X country. We're America. We have to fucking solve it. No, fuck you. Stop killing our fucking citizens to go fucking fight for other people. That's absurd. That's absurd. Who came and helped us during the Revolutionary War? Who came and helped one side or the other during the Civil War? Like, it's not going to happen. Who's going to come in and help us if we have a civil war fucking tomorrow? That thing like that's totally not going to happen. But in a hypothetical situation, let's say we have a civil war tomorrow. Nobody's going to come and help us. They're going to come in and they're going to be like, oh, look at all those fuckers fighting each other. Now's the time to strike and take the whole fucking country and acquire its fucking resources and enslave its fucking citizens.
Would be a hardest
right.
You're like the only country in the world that thinks this way. You guys have to understand that. There's a few other ones in the West, but the only reason they think that is because we think that, and we're bigger than them, and we put the fucking elbow on them.
I understand exactly what you're saying, and I can see where you're coming from. But my thing is this: I've had a lot of a bad turn lately. Past couple of weeks, because I try to be good and do good by people, and sometimes you get kicked in the ass because you try to do good by people. I'm not going to try to stop doing good. I'm just going to try to learn from my judgment calls in the past of trusting people I shouldn't trust and learn from it. That's what you can do. I'm not going to throw my hands up and give up. And in the same scenario, like in the past, when this country has made decisions that have come back to bite us in the ass, we didn't turn away from it. We confronted it and we learned from it. And one of the things that we have learned is we can't be world police. That's something we shouldn't do. But we can't just let injustice stand either when we can do
have it
something.
both
But
ways.
we shouldn't have to do something. The United Nations should do its job. One of the things I've always said is I'd like the United Nations to do its job so we don't have to do the United Nations job. I feel that a lot of it is that we do pick up their slack because we're capable of doing it.
Because we're the only one that can.
Right, and that's one of those things. Look, you gotta remember, I did used to bounce too, and part of the reason I did was because I was able to. I felt like I had a moral responsibility. I'm a big guy. I was in good shape. I was strong, and I had the brains too to go with it. So I felt I had an obligation to look out for people that couldn't. And that's the same way I look at this country.
Okay, so let me ask you this: Would you opt to go bounce in some like club in fucking Saudi Arabia?
If I was able to, and I was younger, and my back wasn't injured, yeah. If my wife would let me go, I'd give it a whirl. I would.
At the risk of your own life?
Yeah.
You'd just be like, yeah, fuck it. Who cares who cares if I get stabbed to death or like fucking hung because I accidentally said the wrong thing about Allah, as long as I get to throw a couple people out of a bar?
You do remember I got crippled saving someone's life, right?
Okay. So now let me ask that's fine. That's fine because that's your own personal choice. Now let me ask you this. Would you force other people to do that?
No. No, it's not. I don't have the right to force other people to do anything.
What do you think our soldiers, who do you think our soldiers are in that situation?
Were any of them drafted? This isn't a consignment military.
Yeah, but
I'm not trying to be a dick.
I know what you're saying, but it's kind of splitting hairs. They didn't sign up, right? No. Listen.
You guys are talking about degrees of the same thing, I think.
No, I know what he's saying. Like you're right. There is a personal amount of like responsibility. Like you should understand that when you sign up, like you don't necessarily know what's going to happen or whatever, but you can't say that people sign up with the impression that like, oh yeah, I'm just going to go die in some fucking war that I might disagree with.
Well, that's what I'm saying about an expeditionary force, that it's more of a set volunteer system, that you have your defense. Sorry, just Irving in the chat because we're running over time.
Oh yeah, we got to wrap it up. I'm sorry about this. We got to.
Yeah, I've been kind of letting it go just because I'm finding it interesting sitting here. I'm getting out of it too because I've been up since early.
It's great.
Yeah, it's a
volunteer force that believes, like, say you have a conscientious objector. I'm thinking more of a system like that you're something around there that's like, would you go for an offensive war here, or like your defensive only branches of the military? Well, we already have defensive, but a subsection that you join this branch of the military. This branch of the military is specifically designed for going overseas for intervening in issues like this.
Yeah, like if you sign.
All I know is personal story aside, right? Everybody else that I know that's signed up for the military or volunteered for the military, I don't know or cannot remember a single one that said, I joined the military because I want to go fight in another country. Their answer is always along the lines of, I joined the military because I want to defend my country.
Right. Yeah. I hear that.
I mean,
my cousin actually, even though anecdotal.
No, you're not wrong. And I agree with you 100%. And
going and fighting in some other country because some other country decided to fucking fling shit across their barbed wire fence is not defending your country, Scooby.
No, I know that. I'm fully aware of that. And I was going to say to you, where we're at right now is that's basically not what they're getting deployed for over there. Now, if they signed up specifically to defend their country, I hate saying it and sounding like a dick, they should have specifically signed up for the National Guard then. Now, this is the thing.
I can agree to that, yeah.
Now, under Bush and Obama, because I didn't see it curtailed at all. They were deploying the National Guard across, overseas, and they were saying, "Why the fuck is the National Guard being put in Afghanistan?" I had a very big problem with that. National Guard is supposed to guard the nation. That's what they're for.
So
they were
did
being
my
misused.
calculus teacher in high school who got deployed in fucking Iraq.
Yeah, you don't do that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But look, we're going to keep circling. This is turning into a goat rodeo, and Irv has his thing that he has to do in 15 minutes. So let's wrap this up, guys.
rush,
and
no
poor
rush.
Sarah.
We'll push it
Sarah
some
just
more.
said hello and has been sitting here quiet as a church mouse for like the past 20 minutes. So, look, I tell you what, we're going to go into the after hours, and I'm going to shut the fuck up for a few minutes so that someone else can talk. So, really quick, let's do.
I think at the end of the day, we both agree on the basis of like the ethical principle or whatever. I think the only place we necessarily disagree is like
The execution.
just exactly a minutia of the execution. Like on the National Guard thing, I vehemently disagree with that because that's against the law, right?
Yeah.
On the other thing that I was talking about, that's my feelings on the ethical code. That's my opinion on like my philosophical opinion of how things should work, right? That's something I would like to see changed. I'm not arguing that that's the way it is and it's wrong or whatever. Like that's the way it is, and the way it is right because people will willingly agree to go into it. I would like to see that change. The National Guard aspect, that was criminal.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you 100%. I'm fully against war, but that's the reason that I'm fully for black bag operations. That's the reason we have SEAL Team 6 and Delta Force. I'm just saying that's what they're there for. I hate saying it, but
PMCs, my dude.
yeah. Well,
Actually, one of my friends is a merc. I actually need to talk to him. I haven't talked to him in fucking years.
Mm-hmm. We gotta end this for poor Irv's sake, guys. Come on, we can do this in the end.
Look at him right now. He's falling. He's already asleep.
No rush.
All right, but let's go through these outros anyway, because honestly, I gotta take this shit off my head. I'm starting to get a headache. So, Ty, you got anything that you're working on? Anything coming up?
Yeah, that video on how to ruin your republic. It's about it's almost done. Everything's recorded. I just need to finish making assets, which I've been doing in the background anytime I've been quiet here, and compiling it all together into the video. So that should be up hopefully by midweek this week, I'm gonna say. I've been devoting about 2 hours a day to it, at the least. So feel free to watch it if you feel like having some guy tell you history and show you how to fuck up your republic. I'm tired. I'm really screwing up this outro. Next
No,
person.
you're good. You're good. So the video's done and cut and everything already?
It's almost done. I just need to finish up getting like all the little images and nonsense in the background. So you're actually not staring at a single image the entire time. So just need to throw that in and then render it and upload it. So like I said,
Awesome.
it should probably be out Wednesday-ish.
All right, good. Definitely tag me because you've been talking about this now for 2 weeks. I'm dying to watch it.
Yeah, I've been fucking working on it since February and then dropped it for like 6 months.
Well, then this is like your magnum opus. I definitely want to see this then. All right. So, Irv, you got anything coming up or what?
After hours?
Hopefully.
Look,
Eventually.
my country's in a weird place right now. Some of our politicians are running crazy fucking federal gambits, and they might actually work. My city might have Mayor Faith Goldie. We don't know yet. Let's see what's going on with that.
That's so
crazy.
awesome.
Oh, God. But personally, I just crossed 300 subs.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, man. Video I put out last week just crossed. It's the first one ever for me. 1,000 views. It actually hit 1,300. It seems to be running out of steam now, and most of my videos run out of steam like 3-4 days later. This one went like a solid 9 days, and so I'm still getting a couple of views even now through this. I got like 2 extra views during the stream.
Nice.
So that's a huge deal for me. So my after hours is going to be a 300 sub celebration. And yeah, I've met pure by random chance, a couple of other small-time Canadian YouTubers around the same sort of sub counts. You guys might know Craig Bragg, right? Good
Yes,
dude.
of course.
And
Great. Good people.
Yeah. And now we know Ben Tomlinson from the Prairies and Kelly Day, also from out west. And they do the same kind of content that I do, but with their own personal flavor. And we now have our own little Discord, and we're gonna try to organize a live stream that's gonna be like all Canadian all the time. So
You call it "Oh Canada"?
No, like, I mean, my joke has been
think
like
it's
the
more of
People's Republic of Canada. So, and People Kind is this meme that Justin Trudeau. So I was like the People's Podcast or whatever, and I don't know. We're gonna and Maxime Bernier and his People's Party of Canada, which actually the reason he named it that in English is because in the French it's the Parti Populaire du Canada, which so it's the same initials.
That sounds gay.
It is, but it's the same initials in English and French now. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. They already called Maxime Bernier racist and xenophobic, and that worked to get Trump elected in the U.S. So hopefully it has the same effect here, and this party might just take off with just over a year to the next federal election. So keep an eye out. Watch for our podcast. We're going to start soon.
You know, I was just thinking maybe for an idea for the name of your podcast, instead of Beware of the Dog, Beware of the Canadians, and have the dog's mouth, like the sign, but have the dog's mouth, have it have the maple leaf in the teeth. Seriously. Bro, seriously, beware of the Canadians, because no one will ever see that coming.
Dude, I'm telling you, "Oh Canada," right?
And
Because Canadians will recognize it, other people will recognize it, and like every time something like bad happens, you just be like, "Oh Canada."
You know what, Parvis? Look up the lyrics to our anthem.
Don't do this to me. I'm not
and
going to
translate it to English, and then you'll understand what our country should be, what it was meant to be. Okay.
yeah, bro, I'm worried for your country. Seriously, I mean, your mounted police are so sharp in those uniforms. You think that your country would be a little bit more badass? I mean, for God's sake, it's the country of lumberjacks and fur trappers. What the fuck happened?
We used to be, and you know what? I think I'd like to be part of the grassroots movement that puts us back into that state. And yeah, that's why we.
But you're killing animals.
That's why you gotta come down here next. You gotta come down here next September and go with me and Burnside to rain havoc on the Capitol, and we'll come up there and we'll help you. We'll help you have fun with yours.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So, Purposeful, do you got anything that you're working on?
shit post just about every fucking day.
Nice.
I'm working on stuff for my other channel. I'm gonna start to. I mean, it's not gonna be anything related to like national libertarianism or my opinions or anything like that. It's gonna be. I'm gonna bring back my my monetizable content, which is just like educational stuff, because my last channel that I had when my old account got nuked, they nuked that one as well. So,
making friends everywhere, are you?
Yeah.
And what Twitter are you on now, Scooby?
Me, I'm not on Twitter. I got.
No, I mean, like, how many accounts have you burned?
Oh, me? How many accounts?
Yeah, at this point, because like a new one every friggin' week for a while.
No, not that many. I would just leave the one up, and people would hit me up, and I wouldn't get my messages for like 90 days until whenever the fuck my suspension was up. I was actually lazy with Twitter. I think I've only had maybe about 7 accounts.
All right, I'm gonna whatever. I'm not shilling anything. I'm just gonna put a message in the side or whatever. There you go, my channel. You just click on my fucking name if you're interested. If not, whatever. Have a good day. But I gotta go piss. So.
All right.
Have a
You
good
coming
night,
into
man.
the after hours or what?
I'll send you the link. You do what you got to do.
Nah,
Yeah, do
don't
your
bother.
thing.
I'm going to bed.
Remember,
No. Hold, before I leave, because you don't fucking answer your Discord ever. We got to get together this weekend and do that thing. And Scoo, if you can figure your shit out, then yeah, you can come do that thing too.
Oh yeah, I finally got it all on the memory card. We're good.
Have you fiddled with it? Does it work?
Oh, I got no idea what the fuck I'm doing. I had to wait until I could get a hold of you two.
Have you tried running it?
I'll run him through it in the afternoon. What color is he?
I'm going with red.
We already have red.
Fuck. What am I,
You
white?
gotta be green.
Green?
I mean, you can be white. Yeah.
All right, cool.
I can work with white. I'll run him through it.
Yeah. So
tomorrow afternoon, Scoop.
Yeah, maybe we'll do green. Cool. I'll do green. I'll be the little green man.
Yeah. So set aside set aside some time. That's how those words go together. Set aside some time this weekend to do this.
Definitely. You hear that, Irv? We get to play with computers tomorrow, like kids. It'll be fun.
Yeah. So yeah, hit me up.
You got it, man.
For sure.
I'm gonna go pee now.
Have fun. Remember, if you shake it more than twice,
I'm gonna have a blast touching myself and watching liquid fall out of my groin. It's gonna be great.
Remember, if you shake it more than twice, you got to mail Albany $1. Oh wait, no, that's just in New York. So have fun.
Yeah, later.
Later. Sarah, so
Hi.
you have been so silent. So, what about you? Do you have anything that you want to show? You got anything you've been working on? Anything coming out?
No, I don't have anything to show.
All right. Are you going to join us for after hours too, or?
That's up to Irving, so.
I'll find a way to send you a link. I put the my Discord in the chat. I'm not sure if you're in my Discord.
No, I'm not.
Hit the link, and yeah, that makes it easier for me to find you. If nothing else, someone will send it to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my side chat's different from yours because I'm on my phone.
Oh yeah.
You guys
Okay.
are
Yeah.
on computers.
All right.
Hey, not a problem. I'll send it a link if anything. But she's in my Discord too, Irv, so you can find her. Not a problem. She should be labeled as one of the people I stream with.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So
also put that image in chat that I was talking about.
what?
In your Discord. The one about.
Oh, yeah, the one with the bill.
Yeah.
I was looking at that. That's a big thing now. That John Wick meme. That's going nuts all over the place. I was watching the one with the CNN and Trump. It was actually really funny. I let my mother watch it. So what the hell is this? I said, this is what happens on CNN when you don't watch it. But all right, yeah, we're about a half hour over at this point. That Irv's ready to jump right into his after hours.
Nah, 1 o'clock.
All right, 1 o'clock it is then. All right. As for me, myself, you guys know the deal. You're watching my channel. I am Scooby331. I've been your MC for this evening. I want to thank you folks in chat who have been with us for this evening, as well as my lovely panel that's been with me this evening. I want to thank all of you guys because I'm just some guy sitting in his kitchen right now on some cheap laptop talking to you folks. But, you wanted to hear what I had to say, and that means a lot to me. And it especially means a lot to me that this panel is here with me because these folks are the ones who make it happen. Because I'm not that entertaining. Seriously, I left before for 15 minutes. You guys probably didn't even realize I was gone. It was all them. I know you did. You're a compassionate person. Purposeful's a bastard. He was enjoying that I was gone. No, I'm joking. No, seriously, he's a good guy too. And again, if you guys are not subscribed to these folks, please. A Time to Speak, Irving Twin, Queen of the South, and National Libertarian, subscribe to these folks. Do yourself a favor because, they're a lot more interesting than me. Like tomorrow, I'm going to go and I'm going to cover the San Gennaro Feast in Manhattan. God willing, if it doesn't rain. And you know what's going to happen when I go there? I'm going to be showing you people on camera. You're probably not going to hear too much from me because it's about the folks that are there. If I was that interesting, I'd sit here in the kitchen. I wouldn't go into Manhattan. I'd save myself the money and the time. But I'm not that interesting. Well, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to film that and give you guys something to watch. Good content. That's it. So, until next week, I want to thank you guys very much for joining me. Thank you very much for joining the panel here. and just thank you for being here in general. I had a good time. I hope you did too. Until next week, I'm Scooby331. Thank you very much. Take care and good night. Bye-bye.